Douluo Dalu. Life or Death Pact. It begins with a forced kiss to Qian Renxue. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyright or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 251. Tang San and his group of 6 arrive at Poseidon Island, a different test from Poseidon. Hearing that Tang San, Douluo and others were going to see a god island for training, Yutin Heng and Duck Iron, who were also in Tiando Royal Academy, also wanted to go there for training. So Tang San, Douluo, Ma Hongjin, Oscar, Yutin Heng, and Duck Iron decided to go to see a god island for training. After a few days of preparation, the 6 set off immediately. After more than 2 months, Tang San and the other 6 went through untold hardships and finally arrived at Sea God Island and successfully landed. They did not encounter pirates who wanted to kill and rob money, nor did they encounter the deep-sea demon Whale King. It can be said that they entered the island relatively smoothly. Now Tang San and the other 6 are heading to the Seahorse Holy Pillar to accept the qualification test before the Sea God test. At the same time, in the Dragon God space, Chu Ye has completed the baptism of the 6 attributes of ice, fire, light, darkness, wind, and earth, and is close to completing the first test of the Dragon God. Bang! Boom! A strong spatial attribute fluctuation exploded on Chu Ye's body, and the next second, the spatial divine light disappeared. Chu Ye panted slightly and looked at the last 2 divine lights. Now there are only time and stability left. Chu Ye looked at the 2 divine lights of time and stability, and the current maximum time limit. Time divine light, 22 hours. Stability divine light, 13 hours. In 2 months at most, I can complete the first test of the Dragon God. Chu Ye silently clenched his fists and stepped into the divine light of time again. On the other side, Tang San and the other 6 had passed through the sea in the sea, completed the assessment before the test of the Sea God, and stood in front of the Seahorse Holy Pillar. Seahorse Luo, one of the 7 guardians of the Holy Pillars of Sea God Island, said, "Everyone, since you have passed the sea in the sea, then, about the test of Lord Sea God, let's start now. Who will go first?" Seeing this, Douluo stood up first. "Senior, I will go first, please start Lord Sea God's test of me." Douluo is currently 53 levels of soul power and is 20 years old. "Well, follow me." Seahorse Luo took Douluo and walked to the front of the Holy Pillar of Sea God. The next second, he immediately drove his soul power and injected it into the Seahorse Holy Pillar. The Seahorse Holy Pillar flashed a strong light, which shot up into the sky and instantly shot into the sky, entrenched, and surrounded by black clouds. The black clouds flashed with light and lightning, with white, yellow, purple, black, red, and other colors of lightning flashing in the sky. There are several levels of the Sea God test, from low to high. White level 1 test, yellow level 1 test, purple level 1 to 3 tests, black level 4 to 6 tests, and red level 7 tests. Above the red level, there are the top 9 tests that have never appeared before, that is, the Sea God's 9 tests. After completing the white to purple level tests, you can become the corresponding island soul master of the Sea God Island, and the black level corresponds to the strength and status of the guardians of the 7 holy pillars of the Sea God Island. The red level is the assessment of the successor of the great worshipper. As for the Sea God's 9 tests, it is naturally the first level God position, the assessment of the inheritor of the Sea God. At this moment, a black light fell from the black cloud, directly covering Douluo. A black mark appeared between Douluo's eyebrows, and soon, a card condensed in the air, which recorded the detailed assessment level and content. It's actually the 5th black level test. Seahorse Luo was a little surprised. In the original novel, Douluo took the 6th black level test. Because countless people have taken the test of the Sea God in the past 100 years on Sea God Island, but there are only 31 people who have reached the black level test. To be able to get the black level test, it is undoubtedly a very strong genius. As long as you can complete all the tests, you will most likely be a titled Luo in the future. The 5th black level test, it's amazing. Boss. Ma Hongjin patted Douluo's shoulder with a happy face, and then, he couldn't wait to say, "Senior, next, it's my turn. Come forward." Seahorse Luo said. Ma Hongjin stood up with great interest. At present, Ma Hongjin is 17 years old and has a soul power of level 46. The same black light fell, and the assessment level is the 4th black level test. The original book has 6 black level tests. Next, I'll do it. Oscar walked forward slowly. Oscar is currently 19 years old, with a soul power of level 52. In the end, like Daimyo Badai, he passed the black level 5 tests. The original book has 6 black level tests. Immediately after Oscar, Yu Tianheng stood up. Yu Tianheng is currently 21 years old, with a soul power of level 55. The same black light fell, and the test level was the black level 5 tests. Another black level test. There are so many of these young men at once. Luo was shocked. Tang San, I'll go first. Yang glanced at Tang San and slowly stood in front of the holy pillar. She clenched her fists tightly and muttered in her heart. Become stronger. I must become stronger. Avenge my grandfather. In the past few years, Yan has long understood that when Bo died, it seemed that only Jidluo and Ghost Luo took action. In fact, she already knew that Chu Ye was also involved that day. Chu Ye was one of the enemies who killed her grandfather, but Yan didn't know that day. Ghost and Chrysanthemum and Luo didn't do anything at all, and the one who really killed Bo was Chu Ye. So Yan wanted to become stronger and then seek revenge on Chu Ye. But the light of the sea god test she dropped was not black, but a purple light. Well, the third test of purple level is also very good. Luo nodded. But Yan was very dissatisfied with this, and she clenched her fists unwillingly. Why? Why do I only have a purple level test? Yan. Yu Tianheng came to Yan. Yan is currently 23 years old and has a soul power of level 53. Luo said. Although the third test of purple level is not as good as the black level test, as long as you continue to practice hard throughout your life, you may not be unable to reach the titled Luo realm. Okay, the last one. Yan reluctantly retreated into the crowd, and then Tang San stepped forward. As expected, in the end, Tang San received the Sea God 9 tests. A golden trident mark also appeared between his eyebrows. This was the Sea God mark. The appearance of the Sea God 9 tests seemed to shake the entire Sea God Island, and also attracted the Sea God Island's chief priest, Poseidon, to personally explain. After learning about the details of his own test from Poseidon, Tang San was ecstatic. Sea God 9 tests. I'm actually the test for the Sea God successor, which means that I have the qualifications to step into the God level and break through to become a god. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Sea God. I. Tang San. I'm the Sea God successor. Great. Great. If I can become a god. I'm Chu Ye. What does that matter? What does the Spirit Hall matter? Chu Ye, Qian Renxue. Spirit Hall. And all those who were related to Chu Ye. I, Tang San, swear again today that when I become a god, it will be all death. Chapter 252. Complete the first test of the Dragon God, and the second martial soul evolves. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. At this moment, Tang San was extremely excited, and ecstatic. That kind of emotion, which could no longer be restrained, appeared on Tang San's face, with a strong killing intent and resentment. Tang San's confidence in destroying the Spirit Hall and killing Chu Ye and Qian Renxue has now completely recovered to its peak after obtaining the Sea God 9 tests. Because as long as Tang San breaks through and becomes a god, then he will be invincible. The whole world, the whole continent, how can a mere mortal fight against a god? In this way, the 6 people obtained their respective test levels. 1 Sea God 9 tests, 3 black level 5 tests, 1 black level 4 tests, and 1 purple level 3 tests. Senior Poseidon, we hope to start the test tomorrow. Well, I will take you to the test site tomorrow. Poseidon nodded and disappeared in an instant. The 6 people couldn't wait to take the test, so they rested on the island for a day, and the next day, they immediately started the first test. The first test for Tang San and the other 6 people was all about crossing the Sea God's light and climbing the steps. But according to the different levels of the test, the difficulty and the number of steps to climb will also be different. Among them, only Yan, who was in the third test of the purple level, also had to cross the light of the sea god in the first test, but the number of steps he needed to climb was much lower than that of others. In this way, the 6 people began the first test. They soon discovered that practicing under the pressure of the light of the sea god was very helpful for improving soul power. Practicing here would be several times faster than they originally were. The soul power of the 6 people was rising rapidly day by day. 2 months later. In the Dragon God space. Chu Ye's first test of the Dragon God has reached a total length of 1 year and 11 months. At this moment, he has completed 8 divine lights and is attacking the last stable divine light. 20 hours. 21 hours. 22 hours. Time has come to the last hour. The 4 great souls of Zhu Dai, Bing Dai, Erming, and Xiao have all appeared to assist the stable divine light together. Chu Ye has also released his own power to the extreme. The last minute. Chu Ye, hold on. The 4 great spirits attached their last bit of strength to Chu Ye. He was pale, and his full strength had reached its limit. His body was being pushed out of the divine light little by little. The last 10 seconds. 5 seconds. 3 seconds. Chu Ye tried his best, his eyes were already bloodshot, and veins popped out all over his body. Give me. Disappear. Steady divine light. Bang. Boom. Chu Ye survived the last 3 seconds, and the steady divine light also disappeared at this moment. He also gave the last divine light a stable physique. Now, Chu Ye was almost paralyzed on the ground, lying flat, gasping for breath. It's over, the Dragon God's first test is finally over. Chu Ye smiled bigly. In the past year and 10 months, he has been baptized and tortured by the divine light almost every day. The feeling of being in this divine light is actually very tormenting. Fortunately, he finally survived, but Chu Ye didn't feel relaxed at all, because this was only the first test, and there were still 8 tests waiting for him. What kind of hardships he would face next was unknown. Before Chu Ye could rest for 10 seconds, a card with the portrait of the Dragon God condensed in the sky. A cold and emotionless voice also sounded in the space. The first test of the Dragon God is completed. Reward, Ice Element Attribute Power, a Divine Soul Ring, and the remaining rewards are superimposed. The next second, the terrifying Ice God Light fell again. But this time it was not pressure, but all the energy of the Ice God Light was absorbed into Chu Ye's physical strength. After it was over, Chu Ye officially gave it the power of Ice attribute. Zzz, the ground under Chu Ye's feet was frozen for 10 meters. He looked at his left hand. The next second, he waved his left hand and instantly froze 100 meters. So that's it, I already have the Ice Element attribute of the Dragon God. Completing the Divine Light only gives an extremely ice physique, but after completing the first test, Chu Ye has the power of Ice Element attribute. So, it is possible that after I complete the 9 tests of the Dragon God, I will have the same 9 attributes as the Dragon God. Haha, indeed, without the 9 attributes, how can one be called the Dragon God? Chu Ye smiled. Then, a bead with dragon patterns fell into Chu Ye's palm. This was the God-given soul ring. Chu Ye smiled faintly. I was still thinking about how to find a 100,000 year level soul ring for my water snake martial soul. Now it seems that there is no need for this. The God-given soul ring, he planned to directly give it to the second martial soul, the single-color water snake martial soul. In fact, there is no special way to cultivate twin martial souls. As long as the body strength is strong enough, the strength, soul power, and mental power are enough to withstand and suppress the conflict and repulsion of the power generated when the second martial soul is attached to the soul ring, you can cultivate it. On the mainland, it is known that those with twin martial souls are those who, when their own cultivation is not strong enough, do not have enough ability to withstand and suppress the power of the soul ring attached to the second martial soul, and then they are eager to practice, which is why they exploded and died. With Chu Ye's current strength, even if he directly cultivates the second martial soul to the 8th ring, there will be no problem. At most, there will be a little risk when it comes to the 9th ring. Therefore, he can start to cultivate the single-color water snake martial soul now. Come on. Chu Ye sat down and decisively absorbed the God-given soul ring. The useless martial soul level single-color water snake was undoubtedly given the first soul ring of the 100,000 year level. The God-given soul ring will give the absorber the maximum soul ring age that the body can bear, so this circle of soul rings is also at the level of hundreds of thousands of years. Chu Ye's soul power increased again, all the way to level 87, and then stopped. And this evolved martial soul, the single-color water snake, really began to evolve after the first soul ring was attached. Tear it. It looked very weak, like an ordinary species of single-color water snake, and its body began to swell gradually, and its appearance became more and more fierce. Only the ice blue snake skin was attached with fiery red flame patterns. Single-color water snake martial spirit evolved into double-color ice and fire snake, martial spirit quality, primary, with dual attributes of ice and fire. It is evolved to primary quality, haha, double-color ice and fire snake. It is indeed much stronger, but it is still very weak. Chu Ye smiled helplessly. Then he released the first soul skill of this martial spirit. Ice and Fire Snake Fang. Tear the double-colored ice and fire snake behind Chu Ye instantly split into two, one ice snake and one fire snake, on his left and right sides, stretched out infinitely like arms, and bit out at a terrifying speed. Bang. Boom. Oh, although it is a 100,000-year level soul ring, it is only a primary quality martial spirit after all. The power is much weaker than I expected. Forget it, the martial spirit can continue to evolve anyway, and the power of these soul skills will increase in the later stage. Chu Ye retracted his strength and looked at a brand new Dragon God card in the sky. The second test of the Dragon God is come in, and the content of the test also appeared in front of Chu Ye. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novel, as there you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 253. The second test of the Dragon God Mirror Image. The second test of the Dragon God begins. The content of the second test is the Dragon God Mirror Image. Go to the Fire Dragon Pillar to defeat yourself for 3 years. Defeat yourself. Mirror Image. Could it be? Chu Ye guessed and quickly ran towards the Fire Dragon Pillar. A moment later, he arrived in front of the Fire God Pillar. A large dual stage has appeared in front of him, and a very handsome man is standing on the stage. The appearance, aura, and breath are exactly the same as mine, Mirror Image. Sure enough, the second test of the Dragon God is to defeat myself. Chu Ye looked at the man on the stage who looked exactly like himself, slowly took a step, and walked towards the dual stage, thinking in his heart, if this is the case, the second test of the Dragon God does not seem to be difficult. If you say copying and mirroring your current self, then Chu Ye only needs to improve his strength and be stronger than his current self, and he can easily defeat himself and complete the second test. But will it be so simple? Chu Ye stood opposite the mirror image Chu Ye with a skeptical attitude. You come to Chu Ye, and I am you. To defeat me is to defeat yourself. From now on, within 3 years, you have to defeat me. You can challenge me at any time, or you can call a halt at any time when you are defeated, and the fight will stop. Mirror Chu Ye said, even the tone and demeanor of his speech were exactly the same. Interesting, let's try it, are you and I exactly the same? Chu Ye released the Sword of Gods and Demons, and slowly raised one hand. Mirror Chu Ye also made the same move, raising the Sword of Gods and Demons. Both of them stepped out with their left foot first, at the same point, and ran faster, swinging the swords in the same way. Bang. Boom boom boom. The two swords slashed together at the same time, with exactly the same strength and soul power. Mirror Chu Ye possessed the same strength as Chu Ye. Third soul skill, 36 consecutive slashes of gods and demons. The two released the same move, and they both launched crazy combos against each other. Spray. Bang. Bang. 30 consecutive slashes. 33 consecutive slashes. 36 consecutive slashes. Boom boom boom. ZZZ Chu Ye and Mirror Chu Ye were cut back at the same time, an absolute draw. External soul bone. Second soul skill, God and Demon Sword Body. God and Demon Sword Intention. God and Demon Domain. Power sharing. Seeing this, Chu Ye opened up, and Mirror Chu Ye did the same. You even have power sharing? Chu Ye frowned. Power sharing is the effect of the life and death contract between him and Qian Renxue. It is to borrow Qian Renxue's power, not his own. I said, I'm you, I can control all your power. Mirror Chu Ye smiled faintly, and the God and Demon Sword in his hand had been transformed into the Dark Demon Sword. So, when our strength, ability, personality, thinking, and fighting style are exactly the same, how can you defeat me? Haha, it's really a bit difficult, but there is always a way to break the situation. Come again. Chu Ye transformed the God and Demon Sword into the Light Sword. Light letter. I'm the sun. Dark letter. I'm the night. Chu Ye entered the light letter form, and Mirror Chu Ye entered the dark letter form. The duel between light and dark. This was the first time that Chu Ye saw himself clearly transform into dark, and he was really full of demonic energy. Brilliant blade. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Chu Ye launched dozens of light blade attacks on the spot. Fearless charge. Mirror image Chu Ye swayed his body and easily avoided the light blades one by one. He seemed to have guessed where Chu Ye would attack and dodged in advance. Brutal tear. Mirror image Chu Ye had already rushed in front of him. Swift slash. Furious blade. Bang, bang. At that moment, Chu Ye activated the 7th solar skill. God and Demon True Body. God and Demon True Body. Mirror image. Chu Ye also started the True Body state. Light Wind Continuous / Shadow Burst. The black demonic energy that rose from the Shadow Burst actually blocked Chu Ye's Light Wind Continuous / The two sides fought fiercely, and it was hard to tell who was better. After fighting for a while, Chu Ye switched to dark form, but mirror image Chu Ye also switched to light form. The two sides switched back and forth between the two forms and fought fiercely. Snow Emperor, Ice Emperor, Erming. Come out and help me. Yes. The three souls all rushed out and attacked the mirror image Chu Ye. The mirror image Chu Ye stood there calmly. He didn't need to make a move at all. 3 mirror images of Ice Emperor, Snow Emperor, and Erming souls rushed out from his body. They blocked Chu Ye's soul attack. He really has a soul. Chu Ye frowned, and the next second, he released the 4th solar skill. Dark Demon Evil God Destroyer. Roar. 6 evil demon tigers rushed out. His 4th soul ring is now at the 100,000 year level, so this move is much more powerful than before. Whether it is power, speed, or effect, it is several times stronger than before. However, the mirror image Chu Ye resolved all of them, without a single mistake, and he guessed the order and rhythm. He smiled and said, Chu Ye, I know you too well. I'm you. I know too well how you'll attack me. If you want to defeat me. To defeat yourself, you must break through yourself in this battle. Break through yourself in battle. Chu Ye seemed to understand the way to complete the second test of the dragon. He rekindled his fighting spirit and fought fiercely with the mirror image Chu Ye. Rest. Bang, boom, boom. Both sides have endless skills, crazy duels, oversights, and fights. In this high-intensity battle, unknowingly, they have been fighting for an hour. Both of them have activated the passive effect of rebirth from the ashes. The 8th solar skill, the extreme ice dance of gods and demons. The 8th solar skill, the extreme ice dance of gods and demons. The first style of the sword technique of gods and demons, the sun and moon demons. The 8th solar skill, the great cold and snarless sword of gods and demons. Ha! ZZ, bang, boom, boom. 2 terrifying and identical forces, the final duel, the entire battle stage under the great cold snarless sword was instantly frozen, the energy fluctuations of light and darkness, exploded on both sides. Chu Ye was exhausted, his face pale, kneeling on one knee, barely supporting his body with the sword, not letting himself fall, panting weakly. This guy, he slowly raised his head and saw the mirror image Chu Ye, still standing straight, and his condition was not as bad as his. Chu Ye asked in confusion. Why, since you or me, since you and I have the same power and the same thoughts, but I was defeated so thoroughly. Mirror image Chu Ye said. Because, I know yourself better than you. You know me better. Yes, if there is only one difference between you and me, it is that I know your weaknesses, flaws, and problems better than you. Mirror image Chu Ye retracted his power and stood in front of Chu Ye. No one is perfect, and you're the same, you also have your own flaws and weaknesses. Chapter 254 Chu Ye vs Chu Ye. From your own perspective, these flaws may be hard to spot. From other people's perspectives, you may not see much. After all, your control of power in battle is top-notch on this continent. But as someone who is exactly like you, I can see your problem. During the battle, I build up advantages little by little based on your flaws. When these flaws become more obvious as the battle goes on, the advantages will become obvious, and I will completely defeat you. So, if you want to defeat me and yourself, you must not only break through yourself in battle, but also constantly improve yourself and make yourself perfect within 3 years. So that's it. You can see my problem most clearly. I lost this battle. Chu Ye looked at the mirror image Chu Ye and stretched out his hand to him. Without hesitation, he took it and stood up with the help of the force. Although the feeling of shaking hands with himself was a bit special, Chu Ye did not linger too much. After letting go, he left the duel stage. He paused. I understand. I will fight you again when I recover. After saying that, he disappeared in the next second. For the next period of time, Chu Ye fought and fought with the mirror image Chu Ye every day. He lost every time, but he was gradually becoming perfect. His own small problems, defects, and weaknesses were improved and corrected in each battle. He understood himself more and more. Day by day, he improved himself and became stronger. Not only that, in the process of fighting with himself, Chu Ye's perception of combat awareness and combat ability became deeper and deeper. In fact, every time he fought with the mirror image Chu Ye, he could gain something and gain insights. These gains included any aspects. The most obvious one was the improvement of sword intent. Through the sword intent of gods and demons released by the mirror image Chu Ye, he absorbed and comprehended the sword. In just 1 month, Chu Ye's soul power did not improve much, but his combat power seemed to have been sublimated. The sword intent soared rapidly. Now he can barely fight with the mirror image Chu Ye 55. But it is still very difficult to defeat himself or him, because while Chu Ye is getting stronger, the opponent is also getting stronger at the same time. Chu Ye also understood the significance of the second test of the dragon. This test mainly trains Chu Ye's combat ability and combat awareness, as well as improving his own defects, weaknesses, and problems, so that he can become more perfect in battle. By the second month, Chu Ye was already able to fight mirror Chu Ye 55. This meant that the problems and defects that could be seen in him had been completely improved, and now it was time to break through himself. Sun and Moon Demon God. Bang. Boom. The two men knelt on one knee at the same time, both injured. The two sides tied again. Mirror Chu Ye smiled and said, "Now you can be on par with me, but defeating me is the most difficult thing in this battle." Chu Ye's mouth corners slightly raised. "You're right, no matter how I practice, how much my soul power improves, how much my combat ability improves, how much my strength improves, you will become stronger as I become stronger. But now I have found a way to defeat you and break through myself." "Oh? Could it be?" Mirror Chu Ye seemed to understand. Looking at the look in Mirror Chu Ye's eyes, Chu Ye knew that he had guessed it, and smiled. "Ha ha, so during this period, I will not come for the time being, goodbye." Chu Ye stood up with difficulty and slowly left the dragon god space. If you want to defeat Mirror Chu Ye and break through yourself, then there is only one way, that is, to comprehend powerful moves during the battle. Only when he becomes stronger in battle, will the mirror image Chu Ye not become stronger synchronously. The mirror image Chu Ye will only have his own strength when he stands on the duel stage. If he can comprehend the sword intent in battle and break through the sword intent, or comprehend a new sword technique of gods and demons in battle, then he can defeat himself. Therefore, in the next period of time, Chu Ye plans to absorb the sword intent he comprehended after fighting with the mirror image Chu Ye, improve the sword intent of gods and demons, and try to create a sword technique that is stronger than the sun and moon demons. But it must be created in battle, so the backstage is just preparation work, and that the main sword technique skills are stuck in the stage of being comprehended. He plans to come out of retreat, relax for a few days, adjust to the most relaxed state, and do these again. At the same time, he also wants to see what level his combat effectiveness has reached now. Chu Ye plans to come out of retreat and challenge the second worshipper at the Spirit Hall, Golden Crocodile Douluo. Boom boom boom. The stone door of the retreat slowly opened, and Chu Ye walked out. The sun shone on his face. He took a deep breath and stretched lazily. It's still the air outside that makes people feel more pleasant. At this moment, Qian Renxue had completed the third angel test and had just started the fourth angel test, so Chu Ye did not disturb her. The first thing he did was to visit his teacher Bai Baidong. Then he planned to take a good walk in the Pope's palace and see old friends and subordinates. From the time Chu Ye took the Dragon God 9 test to now, 2 years and 1 month, during this time, he was almost always taking the test and busy becoming stronger. In fact, he didn't pay much attention to the changes in the Pope's palace now. And those familiar friends and partners. Walking, Chu Ye came to the training ground of the disciples of the Pope's palace. He hadn't been here for several years. Now, when he came here again, everything had changed. Those familiar faces had long disappeared, and they were all new people. The ranking stone tablet representing the strength of the disciples of the Pope's palace had also been replaced by a group of people. Because those Xiu and Yan who were in the same period as Chu Ye, they had long since left their status as disciples and entered society, joining different units and institutions of the Spirit Hall to do things. They are now in various places, fighting for the cause of the Spirit Empire and practicing. Because Chu Ye and Qian Renxue have been in seclusion for many years, and feels bored and now runs to Tianxue College to play with Shuabinger and others. Giyu is still in the Pope's palace, also in seclusion and practicing. When they transformed, in order to be more like humans, they actually put multiple seals on themselves. Only by practicing the human form can Giyu gradually unlock the seal and regain control of the power of the Silver Dragon King. Hilly. Looking at the disciples practicing, Chu Ye smiled in his heart, and strong memories hit him, because he once shed sweat here. He stood outside the training field without going in. After watching for a while, he was ready to leave. The news of Chu Ye's coming out of seclusion soon came from the Pope's palace. Qian also learned the news of Chu Ye's coming out of seclusion, and immediately stopped practicing and went to find Chu Ye. At this time, Chu Ye had already returned home, and Qian pushed the door open. "Oh? Qian, why are you here?" Chu Ye asked. Qian walked in slowly and said calmly, "In a few years, the Wuhan Empire will launch a war against the two empires. I, Qian, have no interest in participating in the battle between you humans." Chapter 255 Emperor Qian wakes up. Qian and Douluo join forces to fight. "If I stay in the Pope's palace, I'm afraid it will be difficult to stay out of it. So, Chu Ye, I plan to go back to the Stardew Great Forest first." "Have you decided? Are you really going back?" Qian nodded and said, "Well, but don't worry, during the Dragon God assessment, if you need me anywhere, I, Qian, will come back to help you at any time." "Okay, then when are you leaving?" Chu Ye asked. "Now. Are you in such a hurry?" "Well, one of my subordinates is awakened, and it is looking for me," Qian said. "Subordinates, could it be Golden Eyed Black Dragon King, Qian?" Chu Ye's eyes changed, and he muttered in his heart. He probably guessed which subordinate Qian was talking about. Chu Ye didn't say anything else, nor did he ask in detail. He nodded. "Okay, see you later." "Well." Qian nodded lightly and turned to leave. Next, Chu Ye went back to have a good rest and adjusted his state. After the third day, he went to the worship hall, intending to challenge the golden crocodile Douluo to verify his current strength. Now, he was standing in front of the main gate to the hall of worship. Before Chu Ye could get close, the sixth worshipper, the seventh worshipper, Douluo, and Qian Douluo appeared instantly, with a terrifying aura, and stood in front of Chu Ye very seriously. The two guarded the left and right sides of the main gate. They all released the Panlong stick martial spirit at the same time, shaking the ground. Bang! Boom boom boom. The momentum was magnificent. The whole ground shook. "Your Highness, please stop. The Great Worshipper has ordered that no one is allowed to disturb the young master during the assessment, including Your Highness." Qian and Qian looked serious, as if they would immediately take action if Chu Ye dared to take another step forward. They were not kidding. "Your Highness, please go back." Since Qian Renxue started the 9 tests of angels, no one except the 7 great worshippers was allowed to approach here. Qian Dalu also kept a very strict watch. Although Qian Renxue had completed 3 assessments in 2 years, the god-level assessment was difficult step by step. Qian Dalu did not allow anyone to disturb Qian Renxue and distract her. Chu Ye naturally knew that if he wanted to see Qian Renxue, he would be blocked, but this time, his main purpose was not to find Qian Renxue. 6th priest, 7th priest, Chu Ye is not here to find Zhuye, but to find the 2nd priest, Elder Golden Crocodile. "Please let me have your presence." Chu Ye bowed his hands and performed the etiquette of a junior. "You are looking for the 2nd priest? What's the matter?" The two looked at Chu Ye with suspicion, and then wondered if this guy was playing a trick, using this as an excuse, and then secretly ran to find Qian Renxue. "I, Chu Ye, want to challenge the 2nd priest, Elder Golden Crocodile," Chu Ye said very seriously. Qian, the demon subduing Douluo, heard this and couldn't help laughing. "Aha, you kid, I haven't seen you for a year or two, but you've become more conceited. You actually have the courage to challenge the 2nd priest. Do you know that the 2nd priest is a titled Douluo at the peak of level 98? Did you deliberately use this excuse to sneak in to find the young master?" "Oh, Chu Ye. I know that you and the young master have been separated for a long time in the past 2 years. It's natural for lovers to miss each other very much after not seeing each other for a long time. But if you really want to do this for the young master's sake, you shouldn't disturb her and distract her at this time." Qian patted Chu Ye's shoulder and advised kindly. Chu Ye smiled bigly. "2 priests, why don't you believe it? I really came to challenge the 2nd priest." "Ha, we brothers naturally know how talented you are, but you are only 21 years old. It's too early to challenge the 98th level peak title Douluo now, right? If you want to fight the 2nd priest, even a genius like you will have to practice for a few more years." Chu Ye is not bragging. "Now my strength is enough to compete with the 2nd priest." If the 2 priests don't believe it, Chu Ye is willing to ask the 2 priests for advice first. Chu Ye said. "Oh? Interesting. Then we 2 brothers also want to see the growth of His Highness the Son of God in recent years." Jiangmo and Qian, the two Douluos, became interested. Chu Ye has rarely made a move in public in recent years. The last time was on that day when he destroyed the Seven Treasures Glazed sect. Chu Ye won the proud record of killing Bone Douluo alone. In other words, at the time, Chu Ye already had the combat power of a 95th level title Douluo. Now that a few years have passed, few people know how strong Chu Ye has become. Of course, they are very curious. Maybe he has the strength to fight against their 96th level title Douluo, but they can never believe that he can fight against the 98th level peak golden crocodile Douluo. Okay, then, the two worshippers, let's find a place to spar. Chu Ye also wanted to fight with them. Before challenging the golden crocodile Douluo, fighting with them would also be a good battle. Qian Douluo said, no need, let's fight in front of this hall. Chu Ye looked around. The venue in front of the worship hall was very spacious, and it was enough for strong men like them to fight. He readily agreed, okay, then please. Brother, who should go first or me? Said the demon subduing Douluo. Qian Douluo said, both are fine. Second brother, how about I do it? I'll do it, brother. Second brother, how about you do it? These two people obviously wanted to fight with Chu Ye. Seeing this, Chu Ye interrupted and said, hey, two elders, I mean you two should come together. Huh? What did you say? Qian Douluo and Jiangmo were both stunned, wondering if they had heard it wrong. You want to fight with us two brothers? Yes, I have heard that the tattooed understanding between Qian Renxue and Jiangmo is unmatched, and you have a powerful martial soul fusion technique. As long as the two of you brothers join forces, even a 97 level title Douluo may not be your opponent. So Chu Ye, I want to learn from the two seniors. If I am alone, it won't be very interesting. Chu Ye was very serious and was not joking. With his current strength, he could have defeated a 96 level title Douluo long ago. It would be no challenge to fight one alone. But if they join forces, this battle will be exciting. If it were just two ordinary 96 level title Douluos, Chu Ye would not take them seriously now, but Qian and Jiangmo are completely different. They are twin brothers, and twins know that they have more tattooed understanding than ordinary brothers. The two brothers Jiangmo and Qian have been together since their mother's womb. They grew up together, practiced together, became stronger together, and stepped into the title Douluo realm together, becoming the elders of the Spirit Hall. The two have cooperated for more than 100 years. In terms of tattooed understanding and cooperation, even Chu Ye and Qian Renxue can't compare to them. In addition to the excellent cooperation and high soul power of these two brothers, even their spirits are top-notch weapon spirits, the Panlong stick. There is a dragon sealed in their spirits, and the attack power is very strong. Chapter 256 Chu Ye challenges Qian alone and defeats two Douluo. It is no exaggeration to say that the two of them can rival the 98th level title Douluo when they join forces. Ha ha, you kid, since you know how strong our two brothers are when they join forces, you still dare to challenge us. I guess you are really capable. Well, we brothers haven't joined forces for a long time. Today, let you, the younger generation, see it for yourself. Qian Douluo was a little excited. They were not fools. Chu Ye, this young man, had created too many miracles. Now he is so confident to challenge us. If he didn't have some capital, he would not be so conceited. Thank you two priests for being willing to work together. I'm sorry for offending Chu Ye. Chu Ye bowed his hands. The next second, the terrifying aura spread instantly, and the sword of gods and demons appeared. Under his feet, the terrifying soul ring configuration of blab, 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 red, 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 3 blab, and 5 red flashed throughout the venue. What? This kid, when? Wow. Qian and Jiangmo were both shocked and stunned. Please go all out, the two priests. Otherwise, you may be hurt by me. Chu Ye's voice was penetrating and shocked the whole audience. Good boy, I didn't expect that you have grown to this extent after not seeing you for a few years. No wonder you dare to challenge me. Second priest, you really have the ability. Qian and Jiangmo were extremely shocked. After all, they still looked down on Chu Ye. The scene in front of them was too shocking. It took them several seconds to come back to their senses, and their auras suddenly rose. Panlong stick. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Bang. Boom. The Panlong stick martial spirits of the two people, one radiated strong red energy, and the other radiated blue energy. Come on. Chu Ye challenged two title Douluo at the peak of level 96 with a soul power of level 87. This battle will start immediately. After feeling Chu Ye's terrifying aura, the two brothers no longer looked down on him and were careless. They waved the Panlong sticks at the same time and attacked. Angel 6 Divine Sword Technique, Second Sword, Divine Light breaks through the air. Chu Ye faced off with murderous intent, confronting Qian and Jiang. Bang! Boom boom boom. The two forces of energy and power confronted and impacted each other. Chu Ye was knocked back more than 10 meters by the two men. Not bad, Chu Ye, I hope you can let us two brothers have a good fight. Qian Douluo and Jiang Douluo are more and more eager to fight. I will also let you have fun. Chu Ye's facial expression, light and darkness condensed on the sword. Go. The two ran from the left and right sides at the same time, at an extremely fast speed. Qian first swung a stick from the right, and Chu Ye blocked it with his sword. Ding ding ding. Chu Ye blocked Qian's 3 sticks in a row. Jiang seized the opportunity and attacked from behind. Bang. Chu Ye reacted very quickly and turned around manually, but the sword had come behind him and blocked Jiang's stick, but soon Qian attacked with another stick. And skillfully lifted the sword in Chu Ye's hand. The sword of gods and demons broke away from Chu Ye's hand and flew into the sky. Here. The two brothers smiled and attacked from both sides again. It's over. But at this moment, the dragon god wings behind Chu Ye were instantly released, blocking their attacks with the dragon wings. To worship elders, the battle has just begun and you want to win it, aren't you too hasty? Chu Ye's mouth was raised. The extremely strong ice and fire energy attached to the dragon winds, the fire and ice, eroded their Panlong stick martial arts spirits respectively, and instantly spread to their palms. This kid. Qian and Jiang looked ugly, and were injured by the fire and ice on the spot. Chu Ye took this gap, kicked the two people away with his feet, and used the force to fly up to the sky, flapping the dragon wings to get the sword of gods and demons that was lifted into the sky. Go! Qian and Jiang reacted and jumped up instantly. Sword of gods and demons, come back! The sword of gods and demons shook violently, and the next second, it instantly flew into Chu Ye's hand, with golden light rising. Divine light sword rain. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Countless golden lightsabers fell. Not good. Bang bang bang. Qian and Jiang jumped into the air and were knocked to the ground by countless lightsabers on the spot. Fourth soul skill, Dark Demon Evil God Destruction. Roar. 6 evil demon tigers rushed down from the sky. The two brothers also immediately released their soul skills to resist. With their amazing cooperation and tacit understanding, they actually resolved Chu Ye's attack without any damage. Fifth soul skill, Coiling Dragon destroys the world. Roar. 2 dragon bodies formed by condensed soul power flew up to Chu Ye in the sky, and terrifying power came over him. Chu Ye finally felt a strong pressure and threat from them. 7th soul skill, God and Demon True Body. God and Demon Domain. At this moment, Chu Ye directly activated the martial soul true body state, and a terrible aura enveloped the whole scene. He has actually awakened the power of the domain. Qian and Jiang looked solemn. Chu Ye transformed into light letter and slashed the 2 dragons with a series of light wings. 5th soul skill, Titan Sword. Bang. Chu Ye's terrifying sword chopped down from the sky. Ah! The 2 brothers resisted with all their strength, screaming loudly. Qian and Jiang were pressed to the ground by Chu Ye's sword, and the terrible energy continued to suppress them. Qian and Jiang's legs were bending little by little, being suppressed by the horror, the ground shattered, and he knelt on one knee on the ground. Bang! Boom boom boom! Brother! This kid's power is too terrifying. Level 87 soul power can suppress us like this. Second brother. Although the Holy Sun is only level 87, look at his soul ring configuration. 3 circles of 10,000 years, 5 circles of 100,000 years. With the blessing of 5 soul bones. How can his soul power compare with ordinary soul Douluo? The 2 brothers were suppressed and looked uncomfortable, and their hearts were still in shock. Second brother. Open the martial soul true body. Okay. Big brother. 7th soul skill, Panlong true body. The 2 brothers also released the martial soul true body state, and the body exuded terrifying power again. The dragon sealed in the Panlong stick was also unsealed at this moment. Roar. A huge dragon emerged from each of the huge Panlong sticks, surrounding and perched on the stick. One blue, named Posi Dragon. one red, named Tianxing Jin Dragon. As they released their martial soul true bodies, the power began to quickly overwhelm Chu Ye, and the next second, bang! Exploded on the spot. Chu Ye's power collapsed and he flew into the sky. Qian Jin and Jiang rode on the dragons under their feet, flew into the sky, and jumped at the same time, starting a crazy attack on Chu Ye. In terms of individual strength, Chu Ye is already completely superior to the two of us brothers. Second brother, join forces to defeat him and give full play to the greatest advantage of our combined strength. Brother, I know what to do. Qian Jin and Jiang both understood how terrifying Chu Ye was now. If they wanted to remain undefeated, they had to give full play to their advantages, that is, tacit understanding and cooperation. Only by playing to their strengths and avoiding their weaknesses can they have the capital to compete with the 98-level titled Douluo. Go again. Ha! Bang! Boom boom boom. The two brothers began to attack Chu Ye frantically through extremely tacit cooperation, attacking alternately without any flaws. Chapter 257 The Strongest Showdown. The two sides launched a fierce melee fight, the battle continued, and it was extremely intense. The battle rhythm was tense throughout the field, and there was no time to breathe. Under this high-intensity siege, Chu Ye did not fall into the disadvantage at all. Various soul skills and soul bone skills of both sides emerged one after another, and the battle lasted for half an hour. Bang! Boom! As expected of Qian Jin Douluo and Jiang Douluo, the cooperation between the two is simply superb. I thought that Zhuo and I had enough tacit understanding, but compared with them, there seems to be a gap. Chu Ye was beaten back 10 meters by Jiang and Qian Jin. He slowly stretched out his thumb and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Only after the real battle did Chu Ye understand how terrible it was for Qian Jin and Jiang to join forces. He understood that he underestimated the strength of these two people when they joined forces. Not only did they cooperate perfectly, but under this cooperation, both physical strength and soul power would be reduced to the greatest extent. But Chu Ye was unconsciously consuming much more than them. If this continues, Chu Ye will soon fall into a disadvantage, and Qian Jin and Jiang will gradually pull away from their advantage, and eventually lose. It's so refreshing. We two brothers haven't fought like this for a long time. Chu Ye, you're really amazing, but my two brothers have never lost in the battle so far, and today, I will naturally not lose to you. Jiang Douluo said with a happy face. Jiang and Qian Jin are both almost 120 years old. There are naturally many people who are stronger than them, such as Qian Renxue, Golden Crocodile Douluo, Lion Douluo, or Tang Chen. But in fact, these people are not from the same period. Qian Renxue and Tang Chen are more than 140 years old, a difference of more than 20 years. Even Golden Crocodile Douluo is older and has a higher generation. Therefore, in the era of Jiang and Qian Jin, they were the top talents, influential figures, and absolute strong men. Really? Then, Chu Ye is honored to be the first person to defeat you. Chu Ye also fought very happily. Except for the mirror image Chu Ye, he has not fought so hard for a long time. Ha ha ha. Well, let's see if you can withstand the 8th soul skill of our brothers. 8th soul skill, one shot at a time. 8th soul skill, demon slaying dragon stick. Be careful, Chu Ye. Qian Jin and Jiang were both floating in the air, and terrifying energy was rising wildly. One of them condensed a 100-meter high, extremely thick blue dragon stick. The other had a huge red circle behind him, and a red dragon rushed out of the circle. The whole world seemed to be enveloped by red and blue energy, and the aura was extremely terrifying. At this moment, the 8th soul ring also appeared under Chu Ye's feet. In the extreme light and darkness, there was a strong extreme ice power. Come on, Qian Jin worshipper. Jiang worshipper. 8th soul skill, God and Demon extreme ice dance. Swish, swish, swish. Bang, bang, bang. Boom. The terrifying light, darkness, and ice, countless sword blades formed by the three energies, gathered from all directions and bombarded the two. Chu Ye forcibly dissolved the 8 soul skills of the two, and the powerful sword intent on his body rose. God and Demon Sword Technique, the first style, Sunday and Moon Demon God. Light letter and dark letter. They appeared behind Chu Ye, and the next second, they turned into power and merged into Chu Ye's sword. Big brother. Second brother. Qian Jin, Jiang mobilized all his strength to resist. Bang. Boom boom boom. Puff. But in the end, Chu Ye's power was more terrifying. The two are unable to resist, and were knocked away by Chu Ye's sword at the same time, spitting out blood. The battle has come to the final stage. Chu Ye held the sword in one hand, with extraordinary aura, as if he was a godlike and demon-like existence. The head-on confrontation of this attack was extremely terrifying, and finally alarmed the other 5 elders in the worship hall. What's going on? The chief worshipper Qian Renxue, the second worshipper 98th level Golden Crocodile Duo, the third worshipper 97th level Blue Luan Duo, the fourth worshipper 97th level Lion Duo, and the fifth worshipper 96th level Lightwing Duo all noticed it at this moment. What happened outside? All the worship elders rushed out of the worship hall at the first time. At this time, Chu Ye had slowly raised the sword of God and demon in his hand and pointed it at them, and his voice echoed. Worshipper Qianjin, Worshipper Jiang, let's make the last move and decide the winner. Come on. Second brother, use our martial soul fusion skills. Okay, big brother. Martial soul fusion skills, the whole evil double dragon stick. Sure enough. Chu Ye watched silently as the martial soul fusion skills of Qianjin and Jiang Duo merged together. The two Panlong sticks merged into one, and the two dragons sealed in their respective sticks, the Tianxing Holy Golden Dragon and the Posse Dragon, also merged into one. The power of this martial soul fusion skill has surpassed their 9th soul skill. Even the Golden Crocodile Duo at the peak of level 98 needs to release the 8th or 9th soul skill to resist. The terrible energy has enveloped the entire battle scene. But there is no trace of retreat on Chu Ye's face. His cold and handsome face is full of absolute confidence and firm belief in victory. The 8th soul ring under his feet once again surrounds. In addition, the domain and various superimposed skills are integrated into this move. 8th soul skill, God and Demon Great Cold Snuller's Sword. Chu Ye's God and Demon Sword flashed with strong light, darkness, and ice. The sword body also became very huge. Holding it in the hand, it seemed to be able to chop everything. This kid. Qianjin and Jiang were very afraid and a little terrified, because they had already felt that the terrifying power of Chu Ye's sword might exceed them. After this move, if they are not careful, they will all be seriously injured. And this is indeed Chu Ye's strongest attack at present. Come on. Qianjin priest, Jiang priest, let's see which one is stronger, my sword or your martial soul fusion skill. Come on. Ha! Both sides released their strength to the extreme, roaring and about to hit head-on. But at this critical moment, an extremely majestic voice sounded between the two sides. Stop it. But at this time, Chu Ye and Qianjin, Jiang were unable to retract their strength. Angel's true body. Hush. Bang. When the two forces were about to confront each other, a light and shadow instantly came between the two sides, and a strong golden light exploded, engulfing the whole place. Everyone was shrouded in the golden light. When the golden light slowly dissipated, the huge six-winged angel martial soul emitting the ultimate sacred aura appeared in the center, and the power of Chu Ye and Qianjin Jiang also disintegrated instantly. Qian Renxue stood between the two sides with a serious face, with a strong aura. Chapter 258. Battle with Golden Crocodile Duo, about Qian Renxue's Angel 5. Qian Renxue. Chu Ye's face condensed slightly. The strongest attack of him, Qianjin and Jiang, was actually resolved by Qian Renxue. Looking at his appearance, it seems that nothing happened. And just now, Chu Ye felt the faint power of the angel god when Qian Renxue resolved their power. That's right. Qian Renxue just borrowed a trace of divine power, and that divine power only flowed out a little, which made Chu Ye feel extremely powerful. Facing such a strong man, Chu Ye still has no ability to compete, even if the four great souls help. Great worshipper. Qianjin and Jiang hurriedly bowed their heads and said respectfully. Qian Renxue had a serious face, and there was a trace of anger in his emotions. What's going on, you three? Why are you fighting here? After this, the four of them, Golden Crocodile Duo, Lion Duo, Spiritual Yuan Duo, and Lightwing Duo, also arrived. Four figures fell on the southeast, northwest, and northeast sides of Chu Ye. Oh, great priest, I think Chu Ye wanted to find the young master, and then, Qianjin, Jiang refused to let him in, so the two sides fought each other, right? A teenager who was probably only about 11 or 12 years old in the crowd said in a childlike tone. This person was Guangling Duo. Although he was 90 years old, his appearance and voice were still like a teenager, and he looked older than Chu Ye. He had long golden and silver hair and wore a light grey robe, which represented his status as a priest. His left eye was covered with ice and snow, and it would only open when he used spirit skills. The left arm was also affected by the spirit factor, and the arm was in an ice-like shape. He looked very handsome and full of youth. Guangling Duo was one of the very few longbow-type weapon spirits on the Douluo Continent. The Guangling longbow had the dual attributes of ice and fire. Is that so? Chu Ye. Qian Dalu's anger increased a little. Chu Ye wanted to respond, but seeing Qian Dalu who was a little angry, Qian Jiang got anxious and quickly explained, "Don't talk nonsense, Lao. Great priest. We didn't fight because we had a conflict with Chu Ye." Yes. Then Qian Duo explained the whole story and tried his best to protect Chu Ye. Everyone heard it and understood the reason for the fight between the two sides. It turned out that Chu Ye wanted to challenge you, the second brother. The sixth and seventh brothers felt that Chu Ye didn't have the strength, so they wanted to learn from him first, and then the two sides fought. Guangling Duo smiled. "Ha, I didn't expect it. From the power that Chu Ye just exuded, this kid is really qualified now. So powerful." "It's just so, Guangling priest, praise. Don't be modest, kid, I may not be your opponent now." Guangling Duo shrugged. "If you want to say who has the best relationship with these priests, it is Guangling Duo. This guy, although he is about 90 years old, has a childlike personality. He is an old boy who sometimes throws a tantrum, is a little playful, and a little arrogant and proud. Unlike other elders, he is not as mature and stable, so he is easier to approach. In addition to Guangling Duo, there are Qian Jin and Jiang. It can be said that the other few have no intersection at all in private. If it is Guangling Duo, Chu Ye may not be sure of winning. Chu Ye is also telling the truth. Guangling Duo's martial soul is a bow and arrow, and the attack range is very long. It can take the head of the enemy among thousands of people. Chu Ye is strong in close combat. If Guangling Duo keeps attacking from a distance, it will be very difficult to deal with, and he can also fly. Then he set his eyes on Qian Dalu. "Great priest, I am not here to cause trouble, nor will I disturb Weir's Angel 9 trials. You can rest assured that I know my limits. Chu Ye only wants to challenge the second priest, Elder Golden Crocodile. Elder Golden Crocodile, today I fought with Elder Qian Jin and Elder Jiang, which consumed a lot of energy. When I adjust my state and come back, can you fight with me?" Chu Ye looked directly into the eyes of Golden Crocodile Duo and set off to challenge him on the spot. Golden Crocodile Duo also cast his target, and the two of them exchanged glances. This kid. Ever since that year, Chu Ye brought Qian Renxue into the conference hall and confronted more than a dozen titled duos on his own. He agreed to Qian Dalu's 3 requests, and finally changed Qian Renxue's plan to lurk in the palace, and forced Qian Renxue to stay. From that time on, Golden Crocodile Duo didn't like Chu Ye very much, although now it seems that Chu Ye left Qian Renxue behind, and Qian Renxue had the ability to inherit the God of Angels, which was good. The appearance of a god is more useful than any imperial power. And Chu Ye's existence did bring great value to the Spirit Hall, but Golden Crocodile Duo still didn't like this junior very much. He couldn't say he hated him, but he didn't have a good impression of him. He also knew that Chu Ye would surpass him one day. But Golden Crocodile Duo didn't expect that this day would come so soon. He laughed at himself. "Ha, I didn't expect that the young boy who had just started out would now have the qualifications to stand in front of me and challenge me. Okay. Boy, I haven't used my old bones for a long time. I will accompany you, the junior, to have a fight. Junior, I'm very much looking forward to a fight with you." Chu Ye arched his hands and acted as a junior. Not only did he smile in his heart, he was also afraid that Golden Crocodile Duo would not show his favor and would not fight him. After all, Golden Crocodile Duo was of a very high generation. If Chu Ye could fight with Golden Crocodile Duo, he would definitely gain something, and he could also truly feel and verify his current strength and his growth over the years. But good things didn't last long. Qian Dalu quickly spoke up and stopped the fight. "No." "Why is this, Great Priest?" Golden Crocodile Duo asked, puzzled. Chu Ye also looked at Qian Dalu. Qian Dalu supported his back with both hands and explained, "Xiaoxiu has already reached the 4th test of the angel. In a few months, she will be able to complete the 4th test of the angel, and Xiaoxiu's next 5th test of the angel is related to you and other elders of the priesthood. You must stay in your prime to be the examiner of Xiaoxiu's 5th test of the angel." This Golden Crocodile Duo and several elders of the priesthood looked at each other. Yes. Xue's 5th test of the angel seems to challenge these elders of the priesthood. Chu Ye thought in his heart and suddenly remembered this matter. Chu Ye, I have no objection to you fighting with the elders, but this must be done after Xiaoxiu completes the 5th test of the angels. You can fight however you want. Chu Ye sighed in his heart. Okay, I understand. Then the second elder, the fight between you and me will be postponed until Chu Ye completes the 5th test of the angels. All the elders, Chu Ye will take his leave first. Chu Ye bowed and turned to leave. Qian Dalu has seen that Chu Ye is now capable of fighting against Golden Crocodile Luo. In order to ensure that the elders can maintain their prime during Qian Renxue's 5th test. Chapter 259. Battlefield, Peak Sword Intent, God and Demon Killing God. Therefore, Chu Ye will definitely not be able to fight against Golden Crocodile Luo in a short period of time. Fortunately, after fighting with Qian Jin and Jiang Luo today, Chu Ye roughly understood the current level of his strength and gained a lot. It was a pity that in the final duel, because of Qian Dalu's intervention, he was unable to distinguish the winner from Qian Jin and Jiang Luo. Qian Jin and Jiang were also very sorry about this, thinking that they would fight against Chu Ye after Qian Renxue completed the 5th test of angels. At this moment, Qian Renxue, who was in the 4th test of angels, saw her grandfather Qian Dalu coming back and asked, "Grandpa, is Chu Ye here?" Yes, he came to the worship hall to fight with Qian Jin and Jiang. He wanted to challenge the second worshipper. Qian Dalu said. Qian Renxue smiled faintly. As expected of my man, he is really amazing. Has he already possessed the strength to challenge the Golden Crocodile Elder? It seems that I have to work harder. Qian Renxue entered the 4th test of the angel again. Chu Ye's strength once again inspired her desire to become stronger. Chu Ye, on his side, also planned to start to conquer the 2nd test of the Dragon God Mirror. After fighting with the mirror image Chu Ye for the past 2 months, Chu Ye now knows how to conquer it, that is, to improve his sword intent, and then get a good point, when fighting with the mirror image Chu Ye, to break through the sword intent and comprehend the God and Demon sword technique. So now he has to prepare for these 2 points. Let's start. It's time to study the sword skills that are exclusive to my God and Demon sword intent. Chu Ye slowly raised the sword in his hand. All along, he has never spent time to study and create his own God and Demon sword technique. At the time, he comprehended the Sun and Moon Demon God by chance in the Wind Sword sect. Most of them were improving their sword intent, and mastering the Angel's 6 God sword technique passed down by the 6-winged angel family. As for the Angel's 6 God sword technique, Chu Ye has actually practiced it to the 4th sword. But its power is far from Chu Ye's self-created God and Demon sword technique, the Sun and Moon Demon God. Now, it is the first time that he has spent time to create and comprehend a new sword technique. Ushu. He began to swing the God and Demon sword, looking for a breakthrough point in each move, groping, trying to have a deeper understanding of that God and Demon sword martial soul, and the God and Demon sword intent that has reached the advanced peak is also under the cover. Day after day, Chu Ye continued to comprehend the sword intent and study his own sword technique. A month later, he found the direction. Following this direction, Chu Ye began to constantly try, understand, and create. 2 months passed quickly, and the direction he created finally took shape in his mind. Before the Sun and Moon Demon God was released, he already had the appearance of the sword technique skills in his mind. Almost done. Chu Ye clenched his fists excitedly. He also felt that his sword intent was about to enter a higher level. Entering the realm of the peak sword intent, the sword skills became clearer and clearer. In the whole world, there are only 2 people who have reached the peak sword intent in the sword, and they are Qian Dalu and Qian Renxue. After the 3rd month, on the top of a mountain, the gentle sun seemed to rise in front of him. Chu Ye stared at the sun in front of him, and the terrifying sword intent pointed at the sun with his sword. He seemed to be a newly born sword god. At this moment, he already had absolute confidence that he would use the sword skills that had not yet taken shape in the battle with the mirror image Chu Ye. It's time to complete the 2nd test of the Dragon God. Chu Ye's mouth corners rose slightly, and the next second, he decisively entered the Dragon God space. You are finally here. Yes. I am here. Chu Ye stood in front of the mirror image Chu Ye again. Mirror image Chu Ye said. It seems that you are ready. Yes, today, you will be defeated by my sword. Come on. The 2 Chu Ye released the sword of gods and demons at the same time, and the terrifying soul rings under their feet rose up one after another. Ha! Her! Ding! Bang! Boom! Both sides flashed at the same time, both under the same sword. The two weapons collided together, and the two identical energies competed fiercely. Ah! Bang! 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 Both sides launched the strongest force, fighting with all their strength, fighting non-stop. Various skills, soul skills, sword skills, and unique skills, blasted out one after another. The physical strength, soul power, and state of both sides were rapidly consumed, and they also left themselves with almost the same wounds. Here's him. Chu Ye's 3 months of growth. Mirror image Chu Ye will also grow synchronously. In this case, Chu Ye can only break through himself in battle. And his sword intent of gods and demons finally began to transform after an hour of hard fighting. The first style of the sword of gods and demons, the sun and moon demon god. The first style of the sword of gods and demons, the sun and moon demon god. Bang! Boom boom boom! Puff! Ugh! Both sides were knocked back dozens of meters by the other's power, and at the same time, they covered their chests and spit out blood. Both of them knelt on one knee, supporting their bodies with swords, and their states were almost close to the limit. Mirror image Chu Ye smiled and said, "It seems that you still can't break through yourself in the battle." Chu Ye was panting, his face was a little pale. He lowered his head slightly, and slowly wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth with his thumb, and suddenly smiled. Really? The next second, Chu Ye's body suddenly rose, and the sword intent was more domineering than before. This is, mirror image Chu Ye's face changed. Do you feel it? Chu Ye raised the corner of his mouth, and slowly stood up, and the sword intent on his body became more and more terrifying. Peak sword intent. You really are at this time. Mirror image Chu Ye probably knew that he was going to be defeated, but there was no worry on his face, but surprise. Because, mirror image Chu Ye is also Chu Ye. At this moment, Chu Ye's sword intent reached the peak of sword intent, becoming the third sword cultivator in the current continent to reach this high level of swordsmanship. The swordsmanship in his mind also became extremely clear. Everything seemed to be connected and completely realized after the sword intent reached its peak. The battle between you and me ends here. This sword will end everything. Watch out, Chu Ye. Our sword is called God and Demon Killing God / God and Demon Killing God / I. Like this name. Mirror Chu Ye muttered the name slightly. At this moment, Chu Ye exuded an extremely terrifying aura, and the energy enveloped the space around the fire dragon pillar. The scene changed instantly. The two seemed to be shrouded in a huge and strange forest. The sun and the moon, strangely, hung high in the sky at the same time, and the sun and the moon began to rotate rapidly in a circular trajectory. At this moment, the sun and the moon alternated. Sometimes it was day, sometimes it was night. The frequency of alternation between day and night is getting faster and faster. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novel, as there you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 260. Senlo Array, the rotation of the sun and the moon, and the evolution of the wings of the dragon god. Chu Ye held the hilt of the sword, closed his eyes and slowly raised his head. He said in a majestic voice, Senlo formation, sun and moon wheel. God and demon swordsmanship, second style, god and demon slaying. Chu Ye opened his eyes instantly, and the energy of the sun and the moon was also injected into his body at that moment, accompanied by this sword, an extremely strong power. Instantly slashed towards mirror image Chu Ye. What a powerful sword. If you use this sword when you have cultivated to the titled Douluo realm, perhaps even a demigod level strongman may be killed by your sword. You win. Even though he knew he was no match for the opponent, mirror image Chu Ye still went all out and released all his strength. The two sides fought for the last time, but at that moment, mirror image Chu Ye's power instantly disintegrated, and his body was cut in half on the spot. Puff. Our blood spurted out of his abdomen, but mirror image Chu Ye had a smile on his face. The next second, mirror image Chu Ye's body turned into energy and completely dissipated. Goodbye. Chu Ye looked at the dissipated mirror image Chu Ye silently, his face calm. It took a total of 5 months for Chu Ye to finally complete the second test of the dragon god, defeat the mirror image Chu Ye, and defeat himself. The benefits brought by this battle also made him gain a lot. At this time, the cold voice in the space sounded again. The second test of the Dragon God, the mirror image of the Dragon God, is completed. The reward is the power of the fire element attribute, a divine soul ring, and the remaining rewards are superimposed. The next second, the terrifying fire god light appeared again. Like the ice god light before, the energy of the fire god light was all integrated into Chu Ye's body and absorbed by him. Shu. Flames were released directly from Chu Ye's body. He once again possessed a kind of attribute energy of the Dragon God, the fire element attribute, which could control flames. But it was also after he possessed the fire element attribute. Chu Ye's external soul bone, the Dragon God's wings, which was stuck in the 999th year, finally evolved unexpectedly at this moment. Evolved to the 100,000 year level. It actually evolved at this time. Chu Ye was surprised, but the next second, a sharp pain came from his back. Ugh. The Dragon God wings behind Chu Ye broke free and spread out uncontrollably. The wings were expanding and mutating rapidly, the energy was getting stronger and stronger, and the appearance began to change. This made Chu Ye feel very painful. The dragon wings, which originally only had 2 colors of ice and fire, now have 7 colors, but the main area is still dominated by the 2 colors and energy of ice and fire. As for the size of the Dragon God wings, it has directly doubled. After the evolution, Chu Ye's pain disappeared, and he was somewhat surprised. My Dragon God wings have finally evolved and broken through to 100,000 years. Now my Dragon God wings have initially awakened. The wings of the Dragon God can still evolve once, but it requires Chu Ye's strength to reach the God level, and it needs the power of the Golden Dragon King and the Silver Dragon King to assist. Only then will the wings of the Dragon God truly awaken. But even though it has only evolved to the 100,000 year level, it also brings Chu Ye a powerful power blessing, which shocked him. All state amplification effects have become more terrifying, and have absolute suppression on all beasts, especially the strongest suppression of the Dragon Clan. At the same time, after evolving for 100,000 years, Chu Ye was given 2 more skills. Skill 1 of the Wings of the Dragon God. Roar of the Dragon God, mental attack, physical attack, double attack. Skill 2. Power of the Dragon God, which integrates all the energy of the wings of the Dragon God into Chu Ye's body, allowing the body to mutate, possess the characteristics and physique of the Dragon God, and control a trace of the Dragon God's divine power. It can only be launched once in 30 days, and the side effects are huge. Within a month, the wings of the Dragon God will not be able to be used, and the state during this time will be 50% weaker. The time to open it is determined according to the limit that the body can bear. If it is forcibly supported, it will hurt its origin. The power of the dragon, this is definitely a trump card to save my life. If it is activated, can I fight against a demigod? Chu Ye really wanted to see it, but considering the side effects, he didn't dare to use it casually. He withdrew his mind on the external soul bone, and looked at the God-given soul ring that fell on his palm. If I can get a God-given soul ring for every God level assessment I complete, then my beast martial soul will be much easier. Chu Ye smiled faintly and immediately sat down cross-legged. He was ready to continue to add the second circle of God-given soul rings to the beast martial soul that had already evolved to the dual-colored ice and fire snake. Another circle of red soul rings appeared and merged with the dual-colored ice and fire snake martial soul. A moment later, Chu Ye's soul power surged again, level 88. Level 89. At this moment, his soul power reached level 89, and he was only one step away from the titled Douluo. The last level can officially enter the titled Douluo realm. And the dual-colored ice and fire snake really evolved again. SHH, the snake screamed. This time the martial soul had a very obvious change, and its body size directly increased several times. Finally, it was not a small snake, but a giant python. Evolved from a snake to a python. It looked fierce and cold, and there was an earth color in the ice and fire, which gave it the earth element attribute energy. The dual-colored ice and fire snake martial soul evolved into a 3-colored giant python, martial soul quality, intermediate, with the 3 attributes of ice, fire and earth. Not bad, not bad, this martial soul is finally passable, hehe. Chu Ye smiled. The intermediate quality martial soul can be considered to be quite strong. Of course, this is only compared with most soul masters. After all, most soul masters in this world still have primary quality martial souls, and there are also some intermediate quality martial souls. It is actually quite rare to have advanced quality martial souls. But generally speaking, to be able to cultivate to the titled Douluo realm, one must at least have a high quality martial soul. The first soul skill of the evolved three-color giant python martial soul has obviously improved by a level, and the second soul ring also only grants a soul skill. Like the Sword of Gods and Demons martial soul, this second soul skill is a self-strengthening and amplification skill. If I say that without relying on the soul, I am not absolutely sure that I can defeat the 98th level titled Douluo with my own strength before, then, now I have absolute confidence in the power I have. Chu Ye felt the power hidden in his body. This absolute confidence refers to the power of the dragon god without the soul, without using the skills of the dragon god's wings. If the power of the dragon god is used, Chu Ye can't imagine how strong he will be. Perhaps, he already has the power below the god level, the undefeated power in this mortal world. When I break through the titled Douluo realm, maybe it will be the time when I'm invincible in the world. Chu Ye smiled faintly, retracted his thoughts, and looked at the dragon god card in the sky. The content of the next Dragon God's third test has already emerged in the Dragon God card above. Chapter 261 Qian Renxue's Angel Fifth Test. The third test of the Dragon God has begun. The content of the third test is to temper the body with the dragon spirit. Go to the Earth Dragon Pillar and enter the dragon space for the test. The test lasts for 3 years. Within 3 years, you must stay in the dragon space for 8,760 hours. 8,760 hours, 3 years, 365 days a year, 1,095 days in 3 years, which means that on average, I need to stay in the dragon space for at least 8 hours a day, and 3 years to complete the third test of the Dragon God. 24 hours a day, even if I stay full every day, it will take at least a year to complete this test. Chu Ye calculated quickly. After reaching a conclusion, he quickly flew towards the Earth Dragon Pillar. A moment later, Chu Ye came to the Earth Dragon Pillar, where a space portal had appeared, which must be the dragon space of the third test. Tempering the body with the dragon spirit. Chu Ye muttered, his eyes locked, and the next second, he took a decisive step and stepped into the dragon space. This place is like an environment similar to the universe. There are no planets or stars around. Looking around, there are only countless stars lighting up, and countless large and small flying rocks and meteorites flying around. Chu Ye stood on a platform, unable to move. He had only one choice, which was to leave the space. The next second, countless flying rocks suddenly hit him. Oh my! Chu Ye hurriedly mobilized his soul power to protect himself to resist, but he found that in this dragon space, he could not use soul skills and could only use soul power and body to resist. Bang bang bang! Countless large and small flying rocks, the smallest of which was 10 meters in size, hit continuously at a very fast frequency, which made Chu Ye a little overwhelmed. But he was surprised to find that after these flying rocks hit his body and shattered, an invisible energy was flowing into his body. Both his physical and mental strength have become stronger. So that's how it is. This test is to improve my physical strength and mental strength. The first test is to transform Chu Ye's physique, so that he has the qualifications to carry the 9 elements of the Dragon God. The second test is to hone his combat awareness, combat ability, and improve himself. The third test is to improve mental strength and physical strength. These are all paving the way for inheriting the throne. The most important thing is that if the physical strength and mental strength are not good enough, it will be difficult to carry, and then the gods will merge. Therefore, the third test of the Dragon God is very critical, and it is almost a necessary link for any inheritor of the throne. Bang bang bang! These meteorites from outer space will come intermittently, giving Chu Ye a certain breathing time, but every hour, a huge meteorite will come. Chu Ye tried for 5 hours in his first attempt, and finally reached his limit, and left the dragon space exhausted. But in just 5 hours, Chu Ye clearly felt that his physical and mental strength had been very obviously tempered and improved. In 3 years, I have to persist for 8 hours a day on average to complete this third test. Not to mention that I can do more than 10 hours a day, I have to keep it at least 8 hours a day. Chu Ye gritted his teeth, and after resting for a few hours, he stepped into it again to try. As time passed, Chu Ye started a new journey again. His physical strength and mental strength improved significantly in the first period of time. The length of time Chu Ye could persist every day was also increasing little by little. After a whole month, Chu Ye could persist for 10 hours a day. As long as he persisted for 10 hours a day, Chu Ye only needed 876 days, which was nearly 2 years and 5 months, to complete the third test of the Dragon God. But the time was still too long. Chu Ye would not be satisfied with this. He at least averaged about 12 hours a day. 12 hours, that is, it would take a full 2 years in total. Too slow, he must be faster. In 2 years, Qian Renxue might have to take the 7th test of the angel. Time flies, it passed. 4 months later. Chu Ye's physical strength and mental strength have been amazingly improved. Both his physical and mental strength are comparable to that of a titled Douluo at level 99. In the dragon space, the average daily duration he can persist has reached 14 hours. There were a few days when Chu Ye worked for 20 hours on the same day. But in the situation, it was too tiring. Later, it was very painful almost every moment. Qian Renxue has been taking the Angel 9 tests for 2 years and 9 months. She has completed the Angel 4th test and is about to start the Angel 5th test. As for Qian Renxue's soul power, like Chu Ye, it has now reached level 89, and is only 1 step away from the titled Douluo realm. The 5th test of the Angels: defeat the 7 priests one by one, the 6 priests, the 5 priests, the 4 priests, the 3 priests, the 5 priests, and finally the 2nd priest, and hold out for a stick of incense. Time limit: 1 year. The 5th test of the Angels requires me to defeat 5 priest elders and hold out for a stick of incense in the hands of the 2nd priest. With my current level 89 soul power, I'm afraid. Qian Renxue's face was solemn. She felt strong pressure and difficulty in the first game. Although her strength has improved rapidly in the past few years, it is not an easy task to defeat these priest elders. After all, the priest elders are at least level 96 peak titled Douluo. Qian Renxue is not absolutely sure. It seems that I must spend a year to improve my strength before challenging the priest elders. Qian Renxue thought in her heart. If she wanted to make a huge breakthrough in her own strength within a year, Qian Renxue currently had only 2 choices. One was to try to break through her soul power from level 89 to level 90, the titled Douluo realm, within a year. At the time, she would have absolute confidence. However, it was too difficult to break through the titled Douluo in a year. The second choice was to continue to comprehend and practice the Angel 6 God swordsmanship, and to raise the Angel sword intent to the peak sword intent. Qian Renxue once said that the Angel 6 God swordsmanship was created by the 2nd generation of the Angel God. If you can practice to the 5th sword, below the God level, no one can stop it. The 6th sword can kill the gods. But the 6-winged angel clan, except for their ancestor, the Angel God, has been several generations, and no one can practice to the 5th sword. At present, my sword intent has reached the advanced peak, and the Angel 6 God swordsmanship has also been practiced to the 4th sword. It is not impossible in a year. Qian Renxue was still somewhat confident. Her sword talent had actually surpassed Qian Renxue and her ancestors in the past 10 generations. If she works hard and can master the 5th sword, she will have great confidence in completing the 5th Angel assessment. Chapter 262. The Peak of Angel Sword Intent. Qian Renxue comprehends the 5th sword. Grandpa, in the next year, I want to improve my sword intent and comprehend the 5th sword of the angel. Can you help me? Qian Renxue said. Qian Renxue already understood his granddaughter's intention, and nodded. Of course, but Grandpa can't guarantee that I can help you comprehend the 5th sword in 1 year, but Grandpa will do his best to help you. Thank you, Grandpa. In this way, the grandfather and grandson began to train Qian Renxue to improve the sword intent and comprehend the 5th sword of the 6 angel swords. At the same time, on the other side, on the Sea God Island, Qian, Yu Tinhen, Ma Hongjin, Oscar, Daimu Bai, the 5 people, have just completed the first test and passed through the Sea God's light. There is only 1 person left, Tangsan. He is still climbing the steps, because Tangsan has to pass through the double Sea God's light, a total of 333 steps. Far more than the number of steps for the other 5 people. At this moment, Tangsan has stepped on the 330th step. The last 3 steps. There are only 3 steps left. Tangsan will definitely get through. I will trample Chu Ye and the spirit hall under my feet. Tangsan gritted his teeth, persisted with all his strength, and walked up step by step. Finally, Tangsan also climbed the last 3 steps at this moment, stepped onto the 333rd step, and completed the first test of the Sea God. At this time, a deep voice sounded between heaven and earth. Qian, purple level 3 tests. First test, passed through the light of the Sea God, rewarded soul power increased by 1 level. Current soul power is 62 levels. Ma Hongjin, black level 4 tests. First test, passed through the light of the Sea God, rewarded soul power increased by 1 level. Current soul power is 57 levels. Oscar, Daimu Bai, Yu Tinhen, Black level 5 tests. First test, passed through the light of the sea god, rewarded soul power increased by 1 level. Oscar soul power level 62. Daimu Bai soul power level 62. Yutin Heng soul power level 65. Tang San, Seer God's 9 tests. First test, passing double Seer God's light, passed the test, Seer God's affinity increased by 5%, rewards begin to accumulate. Currently soul power level 72. After a whole year, we finally completed the first test. Yes. This year was not easy. However, all of our strengths and soul powers have grown amazingly. Everyone has increased their soul power by about 10 levels in a year. It's really too fast to practice here. Several people were all delighted and very fortunate that they chose to go to Sea God Island with Tang San to practice. The opportunity here is indeed not simple. This rapid progress is far from comparable to their own practice on the mainland. Third brother, at this rate of practice, I think your soul power will soon surpass the Chu Ye. Ma Hongjin came to Tang San and said with a smile. Yes, Shao San, no matter how fast Chu Ye cultivates, he won't be faster than us in Sea God Island. Even if your soul power has not surpassed Chu Ye, it should not be a few levels behind. That guy can't break through to the soul realm so quickly. Daimu Bai also said with confidence. Tang San smiled slightly. It is certain that Chu Ye's current soul power must be higher than mine, but as Mu Bai said, he should not be so fast to enter the soul realm. Tang San also believed that as long as he continued to cultivate in Sea God Island, it would not take a few years, at least in soul power, to gradually surpass Chu Ye. Even in strength, he will be crushed by him one day. If he becomes Sea God, let alone, then, he, Tang San, can kill him however he wants. Tang San looked very proud, and was extremely happy in his heart. Then he became serious. Everyone, the situation on the mainland is getting worse and worse. I'm afraid that in 2 or 3 years, the Spirit Empire will officially launch a war. We must complete all the tests and go back to help the 2 empires to defeat the Spirit Hall. There is no time to lose. Let's take a day off and start the second test the next day. Okay. Everyone nodded. In the next year. Chu Ye, the inheritor of the Dragon God. Qian Renxue, the inheritor of the Angel God. Tang San, the inheritor of the Sea God. The 3 inheritors are all working hard to improve their strength and complete the God level test. 11 months later. Tang San and his group of 6 have completed the second test and are currently in the third test of the tide rate body training. Chu Ye has also almost stretched the daily persistence time to an average of 16 hours a day. It only takes half a year to complete the Dragon God's third test. And his mental strength and physical strength have reached the peak of 99, and are even gradually impacting the stage of demigod. At this moment, in the Angel Heritage Holy Land, Qian Renxue was enveloped by Qian Dalu's terrifying sword intent. The next second, she suddenly opened her eyes were extremely sharp. The angel sword intent, in a moment, instantly climbed and reached a realm far superior to the previous one. Peak sword intent. Qian Renxue broke through to the peak sword intent. Became the 4th person on this continent to reach the peak sword intent. Grandpa, I understand. Qian Renxue stood up and slowly raised the Qian sword that Chu Ye had personally forged for him. At this moment, Qian Dalu seemed to see the shadow of the angel god in Qian Renxue. His eyes flickered and his heart was very excited. Xiaoxiu. She. Angel 6 Divine Swordsmanship, the 5th sword, Angel Punishment. An extremely strong golden light shone in the sky, and a huge sacred fire, full of the attributes of light, condensed into a huge lightsaber. The next second, it instantly fell head-on like a light and shadow. Bang. Boom boom boom. The power of fear swept the whole place. This is the 5th sword of the 6th divine swordsmanship of angels. Our 6-winged angel family has not been able to refine it for many generations, but Xiaoxiu really did it. Qian Dalu was very pleased, shocked, and excited when he saw Qian Renxue performing the 5th sword. Because he could feel the power in it. Qian Renxue could achieve such power with only 89 level soul power. If she breaks through the titled Douluo realm, even Qian Dalu would have to think twice about the 5th sword. The time has come, Grandpa, I should also challenge the elders. Qian Renxue smiled, heroically, holding the Qian sword and left. At the same time, Bai Dong wanted to further enhance her own strength before launching the war. She planned to give herself a second martial soul, and the 2 vacant soul ring positions, and find soul beast soul rings to absorb. She hesitated for a moment and went to the place where Chu Ye was in seclusion. Bai Dong had never disturbed Chu Ye during his retreat over the years, and this was her first time to come to Chu Ye's retreat. Bai Dong came to find her personally, so there must be something important. Seeing this, Chu Ye temporarily stopped the assessment, left the Dragon God space, and came out of retreat. Chapter 263 Qian Renxue begins to challenge the 6 great priests. Chu Ye, is the time for the God test tight these days? Bai Dong did not speak directly, but asked first. After all, if Chu Ye's test time was really tight, she would not disturb him, and would find another way. Hilly. Chu Ye smiled, probably guessing the reason why Bai Dong came, and explained. Teacher, my disciple has plenty of time now. Besides, I can enter the God test secret realm at any time. The remaining time is enough for me to complete the 3rd test. Teacher, do you want to add the last 2 spirit rings to the 2nd martial soul? Yes, our Wuhan Empire is about to launch a war against the Tiando and Xingluo empires. Before that, the teacher wants to go one step further. In this case, there is no time to lose. Teacher, let's set off immediately. Chu Ye once promised to find 2 circles of 100,000 year level spirit rings for Bai Dong. One of the targets is the one in the sea, the evil demon killer whale king. This kind of sea soul beast is actually very suitable for Bai Dong. There is another option. Since we are going to the sea, we can also look for it in the sea. In the vast ocean, there are definitely more than 300,000 year soul beasts, namely the deep sea demon whale king, the evil tiger demon whale king, and the demon soul great white shark king. There must be more. It is very difficult to capture 100,000 year soul beast in the ocean. Land soul masters are already at a disadvantage when fighting in the ocean. It is naturally no problem to hunt with Bai Dong's strength, but if the soul beast just escapes, the probability of escape is still very high. Therefore, it is necessary to rely on Chu Ye's evil god space, directly trap it in it and beat it, knock it down and half cripple it, and then release it. It will have no ability to escape. So, the master and apprentice teamed up and set off, heading west all the way to the distant sea. Teacher, you once went with the army of the Spirit Hall to attack the Sea God Island far above the sea, right? On the way, Chu Ye and Bai Dong chatted. Bai Dong recalled the past and replied, yes. When we, the Spirit Hall, discovered that island, we wanted to recruit the Sea Spirit Masters on the Sea God Island, but we greatly underestimated the strength of the Sea God Island. In that battle, our people in the Spirit Hall suffered heavy losses, and even lost several powerful title duo, and finally returned in defeat. Since then, our Spirit Hall has never provoked the Sea God Island again. Chu Ye asked, did the great priest take action in that battle? Bai Dong shook her head. If Qian Renxue had taken action in that battle to contain Poseidon, and the elders of the priests had also given him support, would the Spirit Hall have lost? Chu Ye muttered to himself. Chu Ye, this time we go to the sea, we should try to stay away from the Sea God Island. On the Sea God Island, there is an extremely terrifying woman. That woman is almost invincible on the sea and is called the Ocean Invincible. Even if Qian Renxue was there, it is difficult for her to be her opponent, so the teacher is naturally no match for her. Bai Dong recalled the scene on the Sea God Island that year. The real existence that caused their Wuhan Hall to be defeated and return in defeat was actually the great worshipper on the Sea God Island, Poseidon. I understand. Chu Ye nodded. He knew who Bai Dong was talking about, and he was also very clear about the strength of the Sea God Island. Poseidon can mobilize the power of the sea and part of the power of the sea god to make the combat power reach the level of demigod. In the ocean field, Poseidon can indeed be called invincible among humans below the god level. There are also the 7 holy pillar guardians below Poseidon. These 7 people are all at the titled Douluo level. Although their soul powers are between level 91 and level 95, they can also borrow the power of the 7 holy pillars on the Sea God Island to strengthen their own strength by 1 or 2 levels. Among them, the leader of the 7 holy pillar guardians, Sea Dragon Douluo, is a level 95 titled Douluo. Although this person is only level 95, his combat power is actually very close to that of a level 96 titled Douluo. With the blessing of the power of the holy pillars, the strength of these holy pillar guardians will only be stronger. Chu Ye and Bai Dong went to the sea just to hunt soul beasts and obtain soul rings. There was no need to provoke the Sea God Island. Now is not the time to take action against the Sea God Island. The journey to the Sea God Island takes at least 1 month. On the way, Chu Ye spent most of the time in that Dragon God space to take assessments. At the same time, Qian Renxue's 5th assessment to challenge the elders of the offerings also began. Come on, demon subduing elder. At this moment, Qian Renxue pointed her sword at the 7 sacrificing demon subduing Douluo. Her plan was to start with the 7 sacrificing and attack them one by one. Excuse me, young master. Demon subduing Douluo stood up slowly and released the panlong-stick martial spirit, with an imposing manner. As the elders of the spirit hall and the examiners of Qian Renxue's 5th test set by the angel god, they would not go against the will of God, so they would not let Qian Renxue down at all. The two sides can start fighting. Rest. Bang. Qian Renxue's sword and demon subduing Douluo's stick, the two forces collided head-on. Angel Realm. She directly opened the angel realm, the angel's true body, the glory of the holy angel, enveloped the entire venue. Under the action of the true body, the power of the angel realm will be brought to the extreme. The power began to fully suppress demon subduing Douluo. Rest. Bang. Bang. Boom boom boom. The two sides fought fiercely, but it was Qian Renxue who fully suppressed demon subduing Douluo. Young master's power is indeed amazing. Douluo looked uncomfortable. Qian Renxue, who had already completed 4 angel exams, already possessed a certain amount of angel god power. In addition, she now has inherited 5 angel soul bones that are more than 99,900 years old. Qian Renxue's personal strength alone is enough to compete with a titled Douluo at level 97. If she is assisted by the 2 souls of the Azure Bull Python and the Ice Bear King, her combat power will be close to level 98. After a fierce battle, Qian Renxue had an absolute advantage. Azure Slow Field. Dimming instantly restricted Douluo's actions, causing Douluo's actions to stagnate. Qian Renxue seized the opportunity. 6th soul skill, Angel Azure Dragon Will. Not good. A huge angel appeared behind Douluo, and 2 azure dragons spread in the angel's hands, binding Douluo tightly and unable to break free. It's over, Elder Jiang. Angel 6 Swordsmanship, the 4th sword, Angel Demon Slaying Sword. Hubzu bang. Boom boom boom. Douluo shot down in an instant, and his body slammed to the ground in a mess. Qian Renxue stood straight, and the Qian sword spun a circle in her hand, and then she took it back. She smiled faintly. Thank you for your hard work, Douluo, and now you can have a good rest. After saying that, Qian Renxue flapped her angel wings and flew away, heading towards the 6th worshipper, Douluo. Looking at Qian Renxue's back, Douluo said bigly, "Alas, the young master and Chu Ye are both peerless geniuses. At such a young age, they are completely superior to me." Chapter 264. After winning 5 consecutive battles against priests, Qian Renxue points her sword at Golden Crocodile Douluo. A moment later, Qian Renxue came to Douluo. Douluo's martial spirit and combat ability are actually very similar to his younger brother Jiang. It can be said that if he can defeat Jiang, it will not be a problem to defeat Qian. In addition, Qian Renxue had already made sufficient understanding and preparation before starting the challenge. 9th soul skill, Qian Panmo. 8th soul skill, Qiming. Boom boom boom. In less than an hour, Qian Douluo was also defeated. Qian Renxue has defeated 2 elders in a row, and the next one is the 5th elder, Douluo. After recuperation and recovery, she came to the place where Douluo was. Young master, be careful, my arrows can be very accurate. Douluo has released the longbow, and a pair of wings have also stretched out from his back. There is a faint smile on his face, but it is sharp. Douluo can be called the world's #1 arrow god. He is the strongest bow and arrow martial spirit. Bow and arrow martial spirits have strong penetration and lethality. The highlight is long-range killing. Douluo can shoot an arrow through the heart and headshot the enemy from 1,000 meters away. Arrow attack soul skills have very fast launch speed and flight speed. Often people are caught off guard. Before they have time to start to use their strength, they are shot through the heart and killed in seconds. What they're afraid of is close combat. Therefore, Douluo's combat power fluctuates greatly, mainly depending on the type of opponent. If there is enough output space and environment, his 96 level peak soul power may kill a 97 level title Douluo, but if the opponent is very restrained and the output environment is very poor, he may also be killed by a 95 level title Douluo. And Qian Renxue is a soul master who restrains Douluo. Not only because Douluo's light attribute is restrained by Qian Renxue's light attribute, but mainly because of the ability to fly. In the sky, it is very advantageous to shoot from a distance and hit the spirit masters who cannot fly below. However, if the opponent can fly and is very fast, he can avoid his attack and keep closing the distance. Once he is in close combat, Guangling Duo is at a disadvantage in close combat. Qian Renxue already knew how to fight Guangling Duo. With a special targeted strategic approach, it would be easier to defeat Guangling Duo than Qian Jin and Jiangkum. 7th Spirit Skill, Angel's True Body. Angel's Domain. Domin, Xiaobai, follow me. Yes, Master. Qian Renxue opened fire directly, spread out her 4 wings and rushed straight to Guangling Duo in the sky. The terrifying aura enveloped him. 7th Spirit Skill, Guangling's True Body. 3rd Spirit Skill, Guangling Sword Rain. Guangling Duo did not dare to be careless, and decisively released his own state to the extreme. He instantly pulled up the bow and spun it, with golden light flashing and the power of ice. The next second, his palm loosened and the arrow shot out instantly. Shoo! The arrows of light and ice quickly split into countless secret arrow rains, and thousands of arrows were fired at the flying Qian Renxue. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Qian Renxue flapped her wings, and shuttled through countless light arrows at high speed, dodging and resisting. Unexpectedly, no arrow could hurt her. He and Guangling closed the distance at a high speed. Guangling Duo also flapped his wings and flew. While continuing to pull away, he shot another arrow. 4th Solar Skill, High Explosive Penetration. Stop. Bang. After this arrow was shot out, there was an obvious bang. It was very powerful, very fast, and extremely penetrating. It was far from the speed of the arrow rain just now. This arrow had extremely strong explosive power. But after this arrow was shot out, the trajectory would not change, and it would only attack in one trajectory. This was the weakness. Tianqing slow field. Dimming shot out a wave of light, which slowed down the flight speed of the arrow on the spot. Stop. Qian Renxue tilted her head slightly, raised the corners of her mouth, and cleverly avoided it. 4th Solar Skill, Angel Whirlwind Wing Slash. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Bang. Boom. Qian Renxue spun at high speed and instantly came in front of Guangling Duo, using the enlarged angel wings to spin madly and cut the opponent. Ah! Guangling Duo was repelled in one fell swoop, and before he even had time to get away, Qian Renxue's attack came again. Without a breath, she launched a crazy attack on Guangling Duo. Once a shooter is close to him, it will be difficult, especially when the opponent is still very strong. Guangling Duo instantly fell into a disadvantage and was completely suppressed by Qian Renxue. His solar skills are almost all long-range attacks. In close combat, how can he resist Qian Renxue, who already has a combat power of more than level 96? 8th Solar Skill, Qiming. A huge golden light fell, bang. Boom. Instantly pressed Guangling Duo to the ground. Bang. Boom. So strong. Guangling Duo was convinced by the beating. Next, it's the 97th level peak 4th Priest, the Lion Elder. Qian Renxue panted slightly. The first 3 were relatively easy. The really difficult ones were the last 3. The 4th Priest and the 5th Priest were both titled Duo at the 97th level peak, and the 2nd Priest, Golden Crocodile Duo, was at the 98th level peak. After a day of rest, Qian Renxue challenged again. This time, her opponent was the 4th Priest, the Lion Duo. 7th Solar Skill, the True Body of the Fiery Sun Lion. Roar. The Lion Duo's aura was extremely terrifying. Qian Renxue frowned beautifully, holding the Qian sword in her hand with a firm look in her eyes, without a trace of retreat. I will definitely defeat you. Lion Elder. I once made a promise with Chu Ye that we would work together to complete the God test and become gods together. Nothing can stop me and prevent me from moving forward. Angel True Body. Power sharing. Chu Ye, lend me your power. Ha! Qian Renxue's soul power surged, and she killed instantly, fighting fiercely against the Lion Duo. At the beginning, both sides mobilized their strongest forces to fight. The high-intensity battle lasted for an hour. Qian Renxue's state was almost close to the limit. She was pale, but her eyes were extremely firm, and she had a desire for victory and an obsession to win. With this move, you will be defeated by my Qian sword. Angel 6 Swordsmanship, the 5th sword, Angel Punishment. At this moment, golden light enveloped the entire world, and the huge lightsaber with the power of the sacred fire condensed in the air. The next second, it fell instantly. Bang. Boom. Ah! Lion Lua was finally defeated by this sword. The same was true for the third worshipper. After a fierce battle, he was defeated by Qian Renxue, the strongest angel fifth sword. After many difficult battles, Qian Renxue finally stood in front of the second worshipper Golden Crocodile Douluo. The last one. The last obstacle. If she gets through it, she will complete the fifth test of the angel. Xiaoxiu, since I am one of your fifth examiners, I will not show mercy. Please forgive my old bones for being rude. The figure of Golden Crocodile Douluo was thick and heavy. Elder Golden Crocodile, please do it. This is what you should do. Qian Renxue said respectfully. Chapter 265. Dilemma. Qian Renxue restarts her fighting spirit. You know, even the current Qian Dalu has to respect Golden Crocodile Douluo. Then let's start. The golden hourglass turned, and the sand began to flow down. When the sand dried up, it would be the time of an incense stick. An incense stick, half an hour, is not long, but not short. Qian Renxue knew that she could never be the opponent of Golden Crocodile Douluo, so she had to avoid a head-on confrontation, constantly deterring, dodging, trying to delay time. But the fighting space here is limited after all. Qian Renxue can't hold out for long before she has to face the head-on attack of Golden Crocodile Douluo. Roar! A huge golden crocodile appeared behind Golden Crocodile Douluo. His martial spirit is the Golden Crocodile King, a top beast martial spirit, with very strong strength and defense, and a strong control of the light attribute. But fortunately, it is a martial spirit of light attribute, and under the light attribute of the six-winged angel, there is a lot of restraint. Circles of soul rings appeared under his feet, yellow, yellow, purple, purple, blab, 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 red. The ninth soul ring of Golden Crocodile Douluo has reached the 100,000 year level, so Golden Crocodile Douluo also has a 100,000 year soul bone on his body. He is extremely powerful, a level 98 strongman. There is actually a huge gap between Qian Renxue's strength and Golden Crocodile Douluo. At the beginning, Qian Renxue was completely suppressed by Golden Crocodile Douluo. Bang! Boom! Qian Renxue covered her chest and was hit dozens of meters away. Fifth soul skill, Golden Crocodile Light Scale. Countless shining metallic scales instantly burst out from the Golden Crocodile King's martial spirit and blasted towards Qian Renxue. Fifth soul skill, Holy Sword. The holy fire condensed into a huge long sword and swung it in Qian Renxue's hand. This move can increase the purification effect of the angel's soul power by 300%. Break it for me. Qian Renxue waved the sword condensed by the holy fire and continued to smash countless attacking scales. She did not choose to attack again, but to defend and avoid. Knowing that she couldn't win, she couldn't take the initiative to attack. She had to prolong the time and hold out for half an hour. Bang! 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 Sixth soul skill, Golden Crocodile Roar. A huge golden crocodile appeared and turned into a physical entity, then opened its mouth and roared. Roar! The terrifying energy attacked, and this move also had a spiritual attack. Not good. Qian Renxue could defend against the power, but she was accidentally shocked by the effect of the spiritual attack, which delayed her actions for a few seconds. Golden Crocodile Douluo seized the opportunity and punched. Bang! Qian Renxue was knocked to the ground by a punch, and Golden Crocodile Douluo did not stop, and quickly punched her again. Qian Renxue reacted very quickly, slapping the ground with both hands, using the energy to rebound, and bounced her body away. When passing by, she avoided the fist of Golden Crocodile Douluo. Bang! Golden Crocodile Douluo's punch missed and hit the ground, which was shattered on the spot. The next second, he dodged immediately, without giving Qian Renxue time to breathe, and continued to attack her closely. Bang! 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 Golden Crocodile Douluo punched wildly, and Qian Renxue resisted with all her strength. The two sides launched a fierce melee fight. Even with the two souls fighting at the same time, they could not match Golden Crocodile Douluo in melee combat. Because the difference in soul power was too great. Boom boom boom. Aga! Qian Renxue was beaten back by a punch again, and blood was slowly flowing from the corner of her mouth. She glanced at the hourglass not far away, and there was still half of the time. Only 15 minutes have passed. Next, how should I resist his attack? A drop of sweat fell slowly from the corner of Qian Renxue's face. She was focused and tense, not daring to be distracted or careless. Just half an hour, which is usually just the blink of an eye, but with Golden Crocodile Duo, it felt extremely long. Golden Crocodile Duo was also running out of time. He took a look, and in the next second, he decisively released his martial soul. 7th soul skill, Golden Crocodile True Body. Golden Crocodile Domain. Golden Crocodile Duo slowly spread his hands, and the terrifying power had been released to the limit. He was indeed within a visible range, without a single drop of water. 7th soul skill, Angel True Body. Angel Domain. Qian Renxue was also in full swing, and her aura climbed to the limit. The two sides fought fiercely together, and all kinds of skills, moves, swordsmanship, and soulbone skills were almost all released to resist the attack of Golden Crocodile Duo. Time passed by, and unknowingly it had come to the last 5 minutes. At this moment, Qian Renxue was already seriously injured, and the two souls had completely lost their strength and could no longer fight. Her state was almost approaching the limit. Bang! Boom boom zzz. Qian's sword was inserted into the ground, but Qian Renxue's body was constantly pushed back by the impact force, and she barely supported her body through the friction between the sword and the ground. The last 3 minutes. Bang! Boom! Puff! At this moment, Qian Renxue was injured again. At this moment, there was less than a minute left. 9th soul skill. Ha! The red circle of 100,000 years under the feet of Golden Crocodile Duo finally rose, and the terrifying power enveloped him. He used the strongest power of the 9th soul ring. The huge Golden Crocodile was entrenched in the air, as if it could swallow everything. It slowly pressed down, and it was like a huge golden mountain, quickly gathering power. Qian Renxue knelt on one knee, and her beautiful face was still haggard as never before. She slowly raised her head and stared at the golden crocodile in the sky, a little powerless. Is this the end? Now, what power do I have to resist the strongest attack of the golden crocodile elder? Qian Renxue had already released all the power she should have used, and her state was almost at the limit. She almost saw no hope of holding on to the end. Chu Ye. At this moment, Chu Ye's face seemed to echo in her mind. The time they had been together, all the memories and pictures of the two of them flashed in Qian Renxue's mind. Swear. Let's work together to complete our respective divine tests, become gods together, ascend to the realm together, and step into the eternal realm. We will always be together hand in hand and together forever. The words Chu Ye once said seemed to echo in Qian Renxue's ears. At the same time, Chu Ye, who was far away on the way to the Sea God Island, suddenly sensed Qian Renxue's emotions for some reason. He seemed to feel that Qian Renxue was facing a dilemma now. Chu Ye didn't know what kind of dilemma Qian Renxue was facing now, but he had to give Qian Renxue strength. Chu Ye immediately called Qian Renxue through the power of the mind communication of the life and death contract. Swear, no matter what kind of difficulties you are facing now, you must not give up, and hold on to the last moment. I am with you. Chu Ye's voice echoed in Qian Renxue's ears, and her eyes began to gradually become firm, with endless fighting spirit and belief. Chapter 266 Awakening the Dark Qian Renxue, Light and Darkness Join Forces. Chu Ye's sudden voice made Qian Renxue seem to be filled with strength in an instant. I must persevere. I will stand to the end. I will complete the 9 trials of angels and become the god of angels. Chu Ye, I will not give up. At this moment, Qian Renxue burst out with powerful energy again. She stood up suddenly, staring at the golden crocodile Duo in the sky with extremely condensed eyes, gathering all her strength to resist this final showdown. Darkness. Get out of here. Killing God Domain. Ushu. At this moment, Qian Renxue used the domain power that she had not used for a long time. The colorless domain power full of murderous intent was released in an instant. Qian Renxue actually took the initiative to stimulate the dark side that existed in the 6-winged angel martial spirit. At this time, a sexy and enchanting laugh sounded, and the dark Qian Renxue appeared behind Qian Renxue, gently stroking and teasing Qian Renxue's cheek with her hands. I really didn't expect that you would take the initiative to summon me. Chu Ye is not by your side now. Aren't you afraid that you will not be able to suppress me after you call me out? Take your hands away from me. Aha! A strong light energy suddenly rose from Qian Renxue's body, instantly burning the hands of dark Qian Renxue. She made an indecent cry and was forced to distance herself. Back then, she followed Chu Ye to the City of Slaughter. After obtaining the domain of the god of killing, the dark energy in the six-winged angel martial spirit gave birth to dark Qian Renxue in advance through the dark side of her heart. Qian Renxue was almost occupied and swallowed by dark Qian Renxue. Fortunately, there was Chu Ye's sword of gods and demons at the time. The extreme light attribute suppressed it and forced it into the domain of the god of killing, which saved the day. But now Qian Renxue's light energy has long been far superior to that of the past, and the current dark Qian Renxue can no longer threaten her. Do you understand? Light is completely superior to darkness. You can't threaten me. Now, you help me to resist the attack of the golden crocodile elder. Qian Renxue said coldly. Why do you think I will help you? You will. Qian Renxue said coldly. Chu Ye said that the dark power of dark Qian Renxue will be the strongest when she takes the seventh test of the angel and draws the angel sword. At the time, the power of darkness will be completely stimulated. And at the time, dark Qian Renxue will also try to assimilate Qian Renxue through the seventh test, devour Qian Renxue, and let Qian Renxue fall and become the god of the dark angel. TSK. Dark Qian Renxue shrugged, and the next second, she really stood beside Qian Renxue. At this moment, the power of the golden crocodile Douluo was successfully condensed and enveloped. Qian Renxue and dark Qian Renxue worked together to release the 8th solar skill. Qian Renxue, 8th solar skill, enlightenment. Dark Qian Renxue, 8th solar skill, breaking the army. This is the first time Qian Renxue and dark Qian Renxue have joined forces, the power of light and darkness, the same 8th solar skill, different skills. Darkness and light coexist. The two forces seem to have merged into one, emitting a very terrifying power. Finally, they face the 9th solar skill of golden crocodile Douluo head-on. Boom boom boom. The moment the two forces collided, it was as if the sky collapsed and the earth shook. The confrontation between energy and energy lasted for a long time. When Qian Renxue was exhausted and resisted, time also returned to zero, and the time of one incense stick ended. Qian Renxue, Angel 9 tests, the 5th test is completed, and the rewards begin to stack. It's finally over. I succeeded. Qian Renxue barely used the sword to support her body and did not let herself fall. She smiled weakly. Then she took back the killing field, and dark Qian Renxue had already disappeared after resisting that attack. Before disappearing, dark Qian Renxue left this message. Qian Renxue, keep going, we will meet for real soon. Darkness, I won't let you succeed. Qian Renxue stared at the place where dark Qian Renxue disappeared, with a firm look in her eyes. But she knew that when she took the 7th test, she would really face her dark side. This day would come back sooner or later, and then she would completely solve the darkness. Xiaoxiu. Qian Dalu, who was watching the battle silently in the dark, was very worried after discovering dark Qian Renxue and the dark power just now. After completing the 5th test of the angel, Qian Renxue's 6th test was even more difficult. It was also a combat test. This time, she needed to survive for an incense stick of time in the hands of the great priest Qian Dalu. Qian Dalu had a power limit and could only use the 6th solar skill. But even so, with Qian Renxue's current strength, it was impossible to complete the 6th test, so in the next year, she must break through the soul power to level 90 and enter the titled Douluo realm. In the next few days, Qian Renxue recovered quickly with the help of Qian Dalu, and then entered the stage of deep cultivation, striving to reach level 90. Knowing that Qian Renxue had passed the 5th test of angels, Chu Ye's tense heartstrings also relaxed. After about half a month of travel, Chu Ye and Bai Dong finally arrived at the coastal city, Hanhei City. This is the closest coastal city to Poseidon Island and the largest port on the west side of the continent. When the army of the Spirit Hall went to the sea and attacked Poseidon Island, it also set out from here. There are also Spirit Halls and Sub-Palace level Spirit Halls here, but because of the establishment of the Spirit Empire, everyone has withdrawn now. However, the Spirit Empire is powerful after all. Long before the departure, Bai Dong had already arranged ships and crews in Hanhei City in advance. Just go to the designated seaport, and there will be ships and manpower waiting for them to set off and explore the sea. But the journey was tiring, so Chu Ye and Bai Dong planned to find a hotel in Hanhei City first, stay for one night, and then have a good rest before setting off the next day. Teacher, is this the one? Chu Ye said as they stopped in front of a high-end hotel. Well, let's go. Bai Dong nodded. Chu Ye and Bai Dong entered the hotel. This time there were enough rooms, so each of them booked a room. It was already 7 o'clock in the evening. After dinner, it was around 8 o'clock. Chu Ye said, "Teacher, you go back to your room to rest first, and your disciple will walk around nearby. Well, come back early." "Don't worry." Chu Ye nodded, and then left the hotel alone. According to the timeline, it will take about a year for the Long Yuan boat to appear, but we can also find it in advance. Chu Ye thought, and planned to go to a place where there were mixed people to inquire about the news and find something. And this thing was the Long Yuan boat mentioned by Chu Ye. This is a soul guide for life, assistance, transportation, and tools, a large soul guide ship. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novel, as there you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 267 Ancient Treasure, Dragnubis Boat, Douluo Continent. The crafts and skills of making soul guides have long been lost. It is not as good as the Sunday and Moon continent that collided with Douluo Continent 4,000 years later, where the soul guide manufacturing skills are very powerful. Therefore, it can be said that no one in the current Douluo Continent knows how to make soul guides. Therefore, each of these soul guides left over from ancient times is considered very precious and rare in this era. If it were just an ordinary soul guide, Chu Ye would not go out of his way to find it, but this is a boat-type soul guide, which is a necessity at the moment. The Dragnubis boat soul guide can accommodate 20 passengers at the same time, and can go up and down in the sea. It can sail on the sea surface and dive into the sea. It is said that the deepest dive can reach a depth of 300 meters. With it, sailing on the sea will no longer need to be afraid of wind and waves. Once the wind and waves are huge, you can immediately dive into deep water. With the Dragnubis boat, adventures in the sea will be much easier. Because the sea is a dangerous area. Not only because of the powerful sea soul beasts in the sea, but also because of the weather, climate and other factors, there will be natural sea disasters, which will cause many unexpected situations when sailing in the sea. These sea disasters naturally cannot threaten top powerhouses like Chu Ye and Bai Bai Dong, but they can threaten the ship. If the ship is damaged, or destroyed by natural disasters or soul beast attacks, then the next journey will become very troublesome. According to Chu Ye's memory, the Long Yuan boat will appear at the auction in Hanhei City in about a year. But it is not ruled out that the Long Yuan boat was in the hands of someone in Hanhei City before the auction, and then it can be bought directly with money. A moment later, Chu Ye came to a tavern. A place like a tavern is a mixed place. Basically there are all kinds of people, soul masters, blacksmiths, merchants, people from all walks of life, and people from all walks of life may gather there. "Waiter, bring a pot of top quality Zai Kingfen." Chu Ye found a seat and sat down, shouting, "Okay, sir, please wait a moment." After a while, the waiter brought a pot of wine and placed it in front of Chu Ye. This tavern seemed to be doing good business, and it was almost full of people. Chu Ye poured himself a glass while releasing his mental power. All the sounds in the tavern were captured by his ears. Some people were chatting, some were discussing business, and some were gossiping about various things that happened recently on the mainland. Chu Ye sat there for nearly an hour and finally heard a useful piece of news. The deep sea auction will start tomorrow. I heard that there will be a great treasure this time. Great treasure? What great treasure? I also heard it from someone inside the auction house. I don't know exactly what it is, but it is said to be an ancient artifact that all navigators dream of getting. What? An ancient artifact? It really is a great treasure. I'm so curious. Let's go take a look tomorrow? Sure. An ancient artifact, or a treasure that navigators dream of getting. Isn't this the Long Yuan boat? It's being auctioned at this time? Chu Ye smiled inwardly. It seemed that he was really lucky. He continued to use his mental power to monitor the person. The two people at the table in the distance continued to communicate. But there should be one such treasure in the world, right? The person who puts it up for auction is willing to part with it. Oh, the continent is in turmoil now. Once the three empires of the Wuhan Empire, the Tiando Empire, and the Xingluo Empire go to war, it is unknown how many years it will last. Over time, the security and status quo of the continent will definitely become more chaotic and unresistant, especially for cities like ours on the edge of the continent. People who hold rare treasures may bring about a fatal disaster. If you sell them early, you won't be remembered. That makes sense. Hilly. Chu Ye heard it, retracted his mental power to explore, and finally poured a glass of wine. After drinking the wine in the pot, he put down the glass, stood up and left. Indeed, now that the Wihun Hall has established the Wihun Empire several years in advance, the war is imminent, and the security of the continent will definitely become not very good. People who hold very powerful treasures are indeed a dangerous thing. Many people may sell it, save some belongings, find a quiet and peaceful place, relax for a few years, avoid disasters, and come out after the war. There are many such people. The development of this world has long been different, so it is not surprising that the Drachnubis boat will appear at this time. It can only be said that Chu Ye is lucky and happened to encounter it when he came. Then go directly to the auction house to bid. Chu Ye smiled and returned to the hotel. The next day, Chu Ye told Bai Dong that there were ship-type soul guides in the auction house, so the master and apprentice went to the auction house to find out. Since Chu Ye learned about the news of the Drachnubis boat in the tavern, this news is very likely to have spread. Today, many people came for the Drachnubis boat. Among them, there is the famous Black Snake pirates in this sea area. There are many pirates and pirate groups in the sea, killing people and robbing for a living. The so-called pirates are robbers who rob treasures in the sea. And this Black Snake Pirates is the strongest pirate group in the West Sea area. Among them, there is a level 87 soul Douluo sitting in the seat. This person is the leader of the Black Snake Pirates. Its strength is even stronger than that of the equally famous Purple Pearl Pirates. It can be said that the Black Snake Pirates are the overlords of the waters around the West Sea and have a huge amount of wealth. Today, the leader of the Black Snake Pirates came to the auction just to get the Long Yuan boat. At this moment, Chu Ye and Bai Dong have also come to the auction and sat down, waiting for the auction to begin. Welcome to the Deep Sea Auction. Now, let's start the first auction item of the day. Various biddings have already begun at the scene. Chu Ye and Bai Dong are wearing masks and sitting quietly. They only came for the Long Yuan boat. These things are irrelevant. And ancient treasures like the Long Yuan boat are likely to be the finale. On the other side, the leader of the Black Snake Pirates did not take action either. They were just for the Long Yuan boat. As the auctions of items ended one by one, they finally came to the last item of the day. The next item is also the last item today. It is a very rare soul guide. It is a treasure that every navigator dreams of. It is called the Drachnubis boat. This is an ancient item that can withstand attacks from soul beasts of the century level. The body is transparent and can be used to view the wonders of the ocean from all directions. It can sail and sneak, and it can shuttle freely without fear of wind and waves. Chapter 268. Going out to sea. The Black Snake Pirates. As the auctioneer explained, a huge shell slowly spread out, and a very mini boat appeared in front of everyone. The next second, the mini boat gradually grew larger and turned into a large boat of more than 10 meters. That's right, this soul guide can be transformed, it can be enlarged or reduced, and can be carried with you. After the appearance of the Long Yuan boat, the excitement was completely boiling. There were endless sounds of wow and exclamation. All the rich and powerful people have begun to prepare to raise their signs and want to bid. The leader of the Black Snake Pirates smiled and said, "Hee, Long Yuan boat, our Black Snake Pirates must get it. Long Yuan boat, starting price 500,000 gold soul coins. Bidding starts now." The competition for the Long Yuan boat was very fierce, and about a dozen people were bidding and bidding. I bid 600,000 gold soul coins. 800,000 gold soul coins. 1 million gold soul coins. After a while, the price of the Long Yuan boat reached more than 1 million. At this time, the leader of the Black Snake Pirates finally made a move. He raised the number 3 in his hand and bid 3 million gold soul coins. 3 million is not too high or too low. Some people can afford it, but they will bleed a lot. Most people gave up helplessly, but there were still 2 or 3 groups who were hesitating whether to continue bidding. The leader of the Black Snake Pirates had a hunch that this price might not be able to be taken, so he took off his mask and sneered. "Everyone, don't continue bidding, right? How about giving it to me?" "What? This guy is actually the leader of the Black Snake Pirates. Damn it. Who dares to compete with him for it? Hey, forget it, we can't afford to offend the Black Snake Pirates. The Black Snake Pirates are so powerful in this area that even the Lord of Hanhai City has to give way to them. Especially after the evacuation of the Wihun branch hall here, they became even more arrogant." The Black Snake revealed his identity, and even those who wanted to continue bidding did not dare to do so. "Heh, a bunch of trash, no one dares to fight me, right?" The Black Snake leader sneered. He was already determined to win, and he was very happy in his heart, and he was about to get the Long Yuan boat. But at this moment, an accident happened. Chu Ye finally raised the number 66 card in his hand. I'll pay 5 million gold soul coins. What? He actually added 200 gold soul coins. Who is this kid? He is too brave. He dared to compete with the Black Snake pirates. Isn't he afraid of getting into trouble? The Black Snake leader saw this. His face suddenly darkened, narrowed his eyes slightly, and stared at Chu Ye coldly. You are looking for death. You dared to snatch the Long Yuan boat from me. Chu Ye gave him a light look and didn't take it to heart. Boss, what should we do? Should we raise the price? Black Dragon said viciously. Raise a fart. Here, since this fearless kid wants it, let him go. Don't forget what we do. Here, I understand, boss. The younger brother looked sinister. Just like that, the auction ended, and Chu Ye bought the Draconavis boat for 5 million gold soul coins. This money is just the tip of the iceberg for the Wuhan Empire. Bai Dong and Chu Ye didn't care. After taking the Draconavis boat, they left the auction house and immediately went to Haikau to prepare to go out to sea. The Black Snake pirates followed them all the way, intending to find an opportunity to kill them halfway and seize the treasure. Chu Ye and Bai Dong had actually noticed it a long time ago, but they didn't take it too seriously. They just killed them on the way. The Black Snake pirates didn't realize what kind of existence they were about to provoke. After arriving in Haikau, Chu Ye directly released the Draconavis boat. Everything was ready, and they immediately went out to sea and sailed far into the sea. Chu Ye stood on the bow of the Draconavis boat, looking at the endless sea in the distance, and was in a good mood. This is the feeling of sailing in the sea. Ha ha, it's a good journey. It's a pity that Zue is not here. I really want to let her see the world in the sea. Chu Ye had never been in contact with the sea in this life or in the previous life. In his previous life, he had only played at the beach and had never been out to sea, so this was a new journey for him. Teacher, let's go to the killer whale area first. As for finding the second 100,000-year-old sea soul beast, we may be able to learn from the evil killer whale king. Well, soul beasts do know more about the situation in the ocean than humans. It's a good way to find out about other 100,000-year-old sea soul beasts through them. Bai Dong nodded. Along the way, the wind was calm and the Long Yuan boat sailed safely for about an hour. The accident finally happened. A huge pirate group came rapidly from the side. The bow of the pirate ship looked like a black giant snake. They were the Black Snake pirates. These guys who were looking for death are here after all. Bai Dong said calmly. Teacher, let me deal with it. Chu Ye said lightly, turning to look in the direction of the pirate group. Ha ha ha. Boy, do you still remember me? At this moment, the leader of the Black Snake laughed arrogantly and shouted to Chu Ye from a distance. Behind him stood more than 100 crew members, at least 1/3 of whom were Soul Masters above the Soul Master level. Chu Ye laughed and said, Hey, isn't this the guy from the auction just now? Ha ha, kid, you were really brave to snatch the Draconavis boat from me. I think you were really brave. Chu Ye looked at him indifferently. Ha ha ha, do you know who I am? This sea is my territory, do you understand? Ignorant boy. Oh? So awesome. Chu Ye said. Hee, our captain is a level 87 Soul Duo. Boy, you were dead today. Chu Ye's eyes widened. What? Level 87 Soul Duo. This, I am so scared. Ha ha ha. Look at the kid's scared look. The Black Snake captain laughed and waved his hand. Brothers, go on, kill them and take back the Long Yuan boat. The younger brother next to him said, Boss, can you spare the life of the beauty next to that kid? Brothers, want to have some fun? You kid, why are there so many bitter things in your mind all day long? Sooner or later, you'll die in the hands of a woman. The Black Snake captain smiled and slapped the younger brother on the head, then said, Go, go. Okay, boss. Brothers, go. Huh. Puff puff puff. Ha ha ha. Here we come. Dozens of people jumped into the sea, and their martial spirits emerged. They were all beast martial spirits in the sea. The Sea Soul Masters had confidence on their faces and laughed excitedly. But the next second, expressions of extreme fear suddenly appeared on their faces. Chu Ye stepped on the sea, and the seawater under his feet instantly froze. Behind him, blab, 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 red, 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 the terrifying 8 rings appeared. This kid is actually an 8-ring soul duo. With such a terrifying soul ring configuration, could he be Chu Ye, the holy son of the Wu Soul Empire? Chapter 269. Windless sea, searching for the mysterious 100,000-year-old sea soul beast. At this moment, dozens of sea soul masters and pirates who came quickly were completely shrouded in terror. Chu Ye's name had long been known throughout the continent, not only in the Soul Master world, but also by everyone. And only Chu Ye had such a terrifying soul ring configuration. When they realized that the person in front of them might be Chu Ye, the holy son of the Wuhan Empire, it was too late. The terrifying sword intent of gods and demons was released in an instant, and in just a blink of an eye, poof. Ah! Screams rang out, and dozens of sea soul masters had their heads cut off in an instant, and some were directly cut in half, killing them on the spot. They fell into the sea, and for a moment, the blood dyed the sea surface under Chu Ye's feet red. Ah! On the Black Snake pirate ship, everyone was also panicked, screaming in fear. "We're blind and don't know the real man. Please spare our lives, Your Highness the Holy Sun." The Black Snake leader reacted quickly. After realizing that the man in front of him was someone he couldn't afford to offend, he knelt on his knees and begged for mercy. The crew members behind him also knelt on the ground. The blood of dozens of people had long been swallowed by the sea. Chu Ye had a blank expression on his face. He held the sword in his hand and walked forward step by step on the sea. With every step, the seawater under his feet would turn into ice. The Black Snake leader had been galloping in the sea for decades and had killed countless people. He could see that Chu Ye had a murderous look in his eyes. He was very smart and felt that Chu Ye was unlikely to let them go. He turned around and fled into the sea at the first moment. Sure enough, in the next second, Chu Ye hit the pirate ship in front of him with a sword. Hush! Bang! Boom boom boom! Ah! The huge pirate ship was actually smashed by a sword in an instant, and all the crew members were buried in the sea, leaving only one alive. Want to run? Chu Ye's face was cold. He would not show any mercy to such evil people who were rampant and causing chaos on the sea. He spread the wings of the dragon god and chased after them. It's over. It's over. Damn it. How could this holy son of the Wuhan Empire run to the coastal area for no reason? The Black Snake leader regretted it. Chu Ye was already behind him. He gritted his teeth and decisively released the 7th soul skill, Black Snake True Body. 8th soul skill, Black Snake Tear. Go to hell. A huge black snake rose up and bit. Behind Chu Ye, a huge anaconda also appeared. The first soul skill of the 3-color giant anaconda, ice, fire and earth anaconda teeth. Biting. The confrontation between anacondas and snakes. 3 giant snakes rushed out of Chu Ye's body. The earth snake bit the opponent's black snake on the spot. The ice and fire snakes bit the neck of the black snake leader on both sides. Ah! No. No, I'm wrong. Please, let me go, let me go. Puff. Ah! The next second, the neck of the leader of the black snake was bitten off by the ice and fire snakes. Chu Ye retracted the 3-color giant anaconda martial spirit and turned to leave. After his martial spirit evolved from the double ice and fire snakes to the 3-color giant anaconda, his first soul skill also changed. It was originally releasing 2 ice and fire snakes to bite, but now it has become 3. Afterwards, Chu Ye caught the only surviving member of the Black Snake Pirates and put him on the Long Yuan boat. I heard that your Black Snake Pirates is the most powerful pirate group in the West Sea. Chu Ye asked the panicked crew member. Yes, yes. Very good, now, as long as you can answer a few questions I want to know, I can spare your life. Chu Ye said. Ask. Ask. I will answer what I know. The crew was very excited. They didn't expect that they still had a chance to survive. You, the Black Snake Pirates, have been roaming the West Sea for decades, so you should know very well which seas are inhabited by powerful sea soul beasts, right? Have you ever heard of a sea soul beast of 100,000 years? Chu Ye asked. Speaking of which, the people who know the situation in the sea best, apart from the soul beasts, are probably these pirates, and there are also teams that like to adventure in the sea. Even the Sea God Island may not know more than them. This group of people spend most of their time drifting on the sea, so they must know the habitats of powerful sea soul beasts in the sea, or which seas are very dangerous. Yes. Yes. The Killer Whale Sea. It is rumored that the king of the evil Killer Whale group is a sea soul beast of 100,000 years. And, there is also the more terrifying Demon Whale Sea. The crew said with horror. I know these 2 places, are there any more? Chu Ye said. The crew can be sure of these few places, he is not sure of other places, hesitant for a moment, and replied. In fact, there is another place, the Windless Sea. Windless sea? Chu Ye and Bai Bai Dong looked at each other. Yes, yes. It belongs to the windless zone, a forbidden area in the sea, and few people dare to set foot in it. But every year there are always some fearless adventurers who enter the windless sea to explore, but it seems that no one who goes in can come out alive. Even our black snake pirates dare not set foot. Rumor has it that 3 years ago, an 89th level soul duo led a group of sea soul masters into the windless sea. That man's strength is very powerful among all the soul duo's sea soul masters. It is difficult for 10,000 year level soul beasts to threaten him at all. People like that have all died in the windless sea. So, we have suspected whether there are 100,000 year level sea soul beasts in the windless sea. Teacher, do you want to go and take a look? Chu Ye looked at Bai Bai Dong. Bai Bai Dong said, let's go and have a look. As he said, there may be 100,000 year level soul beast in this windless sea. Indeed. Chu Ye nodded and said to the crew member, you, guide the direction. After the matter is done, I will let you go. Okay. Okay. Just like that, the Long Yuan boat temporarily changed its direction and headed for the so-called windless sea. On this sea, the scope of exploration and detection by humans is less than 1% of the ocean. Therefore, there must be various dangerous seas and powerful sea soul beasts in the ocean, but humans have not yet explored those areas. The windless sea is a place without wind. Without wind, the ship cannot sail in the sea. This is the first problem. Fortunately, the Long Yuan boat is driven by soul power, so there is no need to worry about this problem. At full speed, the Long Yuan boat sailed for a whole week and finally arrived at the edge of the windless sea. Is this the windless sea? Chu Ye looked ahead. He had never seen such a calm sea, so quiet that it was terrifying. Yes, yes. The Long Yuan boat slowly sailed in, going deeper and deeper, but it was still unusually calm. Chapter 270. Surface of water, 100,000-year-old octopus devilfish. Chu Ye's spiritual power was constantly observing the situation in the windless sea. It was very strange that the sea soul beasts in the windless sea that he found were all soul beasts below the 10,000-year level, most of which were 100-year soul beasts, and even 1,000-year soul beasts were rare. It was rumored that no one could come out alive in the windless sea. Such a terrible place was inhabited by only these low-level sea soul beasts. So where was its terrible place? This made Chu Ye and Bai Bai Dong feel more and more that there was a high probability that there was a 100,000-year sea soul beast here. Because only if there was a particularly terrifying sea soul beast, other 10,000-year soul beasts would not dare to stay here. After all, 10,000-year soul beasts have opened their spiritual intelligence, and those below 10,000 years have poor IQ. Keep going. The Long Yuan boat continued to move forward. About an hour later, Chu Ye saw countless fallen and damaged shipwrecks in front of him, some of which were still intact, floating quietly on the sea. Some of these ships were very old, and some were still very new. It can be seen that there were hundreds or even thousands of ships of different ages, all piled up here. The windless sea is so big, and all these people who came in died here collectively. This is definitely not a coincidence, but why are they all piled up in this place? There must be something wrong here. Chu Ye and Bai Bai Dong felt this after they came in, and they can even be sure that there is a particularly powerful sea soul beast in the windless sea, so powerful that it belongs to the overlord of this area. There is a high probability that it is really at the 100,000-year level. Teacher, do you think it is possible that we have entered its nest? Chu Ye suddenly said. You mean, that unknown sea soul beast lives nearby? Bai Bai Dong looked at Chu Ye. Yes, the windless sea is so big, and there is no point to confuse people's direction. Those who come in can sail in different directions. If they are attacked by a powerful soul beast, they will die in the place where they are attacked. How can all these ships be piled up here? We have sailed all the way here and have never found other shipwrecks. The only explanation is that the ships have been moved. The mysterious sea soul beast in the windless sea killed the people who came in and dragged all the ships back here. Chu Ye analyzed. Whether it is a human or a soul beast, there will be some special hobbies or interests. The mysterious sea soul beast here may just like to collect ships. When the two are communicating. Just below the Long Yuan boat, a pair of evil eyes suddenly opened. It narrowed its eyes slightly, seemingly smiling. It hid in the darkness of the seabed, and its body gradually emerged, its eyes locked on the Long Yuan boat on the sea surface. Since this is the nest of the mysterious sea soul beast, it will be easy to make some noise and lure it out. Bai Bai Dong said. Wait, teacher. Chu Ye stopped Bai Bai Dong's behavior, his expression serious. If it is really a 100,000-year-old sea-soul beast, its IQ is no less than that of us humans. If it realizes that we're a threat to it, it may just hide, so we just need to wait and see, and it will appear. Yeah. Bai Dong nodded and suppressed the power back. Soon, in less than 3 minutes, the seawater in front of us suddenly surged with a mass of black liquid. The black liquid quickly covered the seawater within a range of at least 100 meters around the Long Yuan boat. The blue sea turned into a black sea in an instant. It's coming. Chu Ye and Bai Dong both released their mental power at the first time, trying to find the location of the sea-soul beast. But the strange thing is that their mental power can't detect the range covered by the black. The black liquid began to vacate the sea surface and diffused in the air. The surrounding site was also filled with black gas. Teacher, hold back for a while. Chu Ye whispered. Yes. Bai Dong did not act rashly, but the two of them were secretly preparing their strength. Once the unknown soul beast appeared, they would release their martial spirits and attack it the first time. Will it be the type of sea soul beast? Chu Ye was alert to the surroundings, thinking quickly in his heart. In his brain, he actually had a rough guess. Human. It's been a long time since humans entered my sea area. Ha. It's fun to play again. In the blab, a strange creature's cry began to resound over this sea area. Chu Ye naturally couldn't understand the language of the sea soul beast, but he could feel that the emotion revealed in that strange sound was not very excited. The monster was approaching the sea surface little by little. The huge eyeballs had narrowed into a slit. The next second, it rushed towards the Long Yuan boat on the sea surface and attacked on the spot. It finally made a move. And it was precisely because the monster suddenly launched a fierce attack that the energy and movement generated were accurately locked by Chu Ye and Bai Dong. Here. This is what we've been waiting for. Chu Ye instantly took back the Long Yuan boat, and the two of them took off into the air. At the same time, the monster in the sea also rushed out of the sea. Tear it up. It opened its huge mouth and roared, and 8 long tentacles stabbed fiercely. Its face completely appeared in front of Chu Ye and Bai Dong. It looked very disgusting and ugly. Its body was 5 meters large and connected to 8 thick and long tentacles. The length of the tentacles might reach 20 meters. It's really an octopus-class sea-soul beast. Octopus devilfish. Teacher. It's 100,000-year level. Great, catch it. Bai Dong's face lit up. Octopus devilfish. It was very confused. What was going on? Why were these two humans so excited to see it? Shouldn't the normal reaction be to be very scared when seeing it? Before the octopus devilfish could think about it, an extremely terrifying sword intent rose from Chu Ye's body. God and Demon Sword Technique, the first style, Sunday and Moon Demon God. Tear it up. The octopus devilfish was terrified. It never expected that the human who attacked this time would be so powerful. It immediately used its 8 tentacles to resist. But in an instant, like cutting tofu, all 8 tentacles were cut off. Bang! It screamed in horror and was severely injured by Chu Ye's sword. Bai Dong followed closely, condensed her soul skills, and did not give the octopus devilfish time to breathe, and hit it hard with one move. Bang! Boom! Puff! The octopus manta ray was thrown into the water on the spot. Puff! Puff! Chu Ye and Bai Dong immediately jumped into the sea and chased after it. The octopus manta ray was really scared and was trying to escape. Ice Emperor. Seal it for me. Watch me, the permafrost field. As the Ice Emperor's field was released, the sea was instantly frozen for thousands of miles, and the entire surrounding ocean was frozen. The octopus manta ray was also instantly frozen. Teacher. Go. Chu Ye and Bai Dong ran quickly on the ice. Chapter 271 The Demonic Killer Whale King. Come and die. At this time, the octopus devilfish had already broken free from the ice, but it was too late. Bai Dong had already rushed in front of him. 6th soul skill, Eternal Creation. Tear it. The octopus devilfish looked extremely terrified. The next second, with a puff, Bai Dong's jade-like giant sickle instantly chopped the octopus head. Countless black ink and blood gushed out, and it died. A 100,000-year-old sea soul beast was easily killed by Chu Ye and Bai Dong. It was not because they were too strong, but because this 100,000-year-old sea soul beast was too weak. Its strength was about the same as that of a titled Douluo at level 93 to 94, and this sea soul beast had just broken through to the 100,000-year cultivation level a few hundred years ago. If Chu Ye hadn't taken action, I would have had to waste a lot of effort to hunt this octopus devilfish. This kid is really getting more and more powerful. He exudes an aura that even I'm very afraid of. Bai Bai Dong looked at Chu Ye meaningfully. Recalling the last time she and Chu Ye went out, Chu Ye's strength was not as good as hers. Now, after a few years, Bai Bai Dong always felt that even she could not be absolutely sure to beat Chu Ye. Chu Ye was only level 89. Teacher, absorb the soul ring of this octopus devilfish as soon as possible. I will protect you. Chu Ye said. Okay. Bai Bai Dong nodded, without hesitation, and immediately began to absorb. With Chu Ye's protection, she felt at ease. A circle of 100,000-year soul rings was mobilized and attached to Bai Bai Dong's body, and immediately merged with her second martial soul, the soul-devouring Spider Emperor. After a long time, Bai Bai Dong finished absorbing, slowly opened her eyes, and her breath was obviously strengthened a little more. Chu Ye, you help the teacher get the 100,000-year soul ring, then this 100,000-year soul bone will be given to you. Bai Bai Dong handed the 100,000-year soul bone that the octopus devilfish exploded to Chu Ye. Then I will accept it. Chu Ye was not polite. Bai Bai Dong had already collected all 6 soul bones. Although she hadn't had a few 100,000 years, there was nothing she could do. Once the soul bones were absorbed, they were difficult to remove. Therefore, soul bones were no longer something she considered. Teacher, let's go directly to the killer whale area. Okay. The strength of the evil tiger demon whale king was no longer inferior to that of the octopus devilfish. Its strength was at least equivalent to that of a titled Douluo at the peak of level 95. Coupled with the terrain and battling the sea, the difficulty of hunting would be much higher. The two immediately left the windless sea area and headed straight for the killer whale sea area. After about a week of sailing on the sea, Chu Ye and the others left the windless sea area and were getting closer to the killer whale sea area. At the same time, Tang San's group of 6 had just completed the third assessment, the Tide Attack Body Training. In addition to Tang San's reward stacking, the other 5 people also received the rewards after completing the third assessment. Among them, Yan's 3 purple tests have all been completed. Yan, all 3 purple tests have been completed, rewarded with the purple privilege of the Sea God Island, and the soul power increased by 1 level. Yan's current soul power is level 68. Ai's current soul power is level 69. Oscar's current soul power is level 69. Hen's current soul power is level 72. Ma Hongjian's current soul power is level 65. Tang San's current soul power is level 77. Tang San, the 4th test of the Sea God's 9 tests, the battle between sharks and whales, assist the demon soul Great White Shark group, and kill the evil tiger demon whale king in the evil demon killer whale group. Ma Hongjian, Ai, Oscar, Hen, the 4th test of the Black Level test, the battle between sharks and whales, assist the demon soul Great White Shark group, and kill the evil tiger demon whale king in the evil demon killer whale group. Evil demon killer whale king? Tang San looked at the next test and was a little serious. Hen said, it seems that we need to find Xiaobai to understand the situation. Yes. The 5 people immediately went to the circular sea area to find that demon soul Great White Shark King, Xiaobai. From Xiaobai's mouth, we learned that the evil demon killer whale king was actually a 100,000-year-old sea soul beast, and its strength was above Xiaobai. With their current strength, it is very difficult. Therefore, the 5 decided to practice for another year, and when the time is up, they will go to the killer whale sea area to kill the evil killer whale king. At this moment, Chu Ye and Bai Bai Dong have arrived in the killer whale sea area. Chu Ye, what kind of sea soul beast is this evil killer whale? Bai Bai Dong asked. Chu Ye explained. The evil demon killer whale is an extremely bloodthirsty sea soul beast. They are also social soul beasts with almost no natural enemies, so the number of evil demon killer whales is quite considerable. In the killer whale sea area where we are now, there are probably about 300 of them. They are unscrupulous in the sea. Even when they don't need food, they will continue to kill. Any creature they encounter will be torn to pieces without mercy. An adult evil demon killer whale can grow to about 20 to 25 meters long. It is huge in size and has a strong physique. At the same time, the evil demon killer whale also has a repel detection method. As long as there is a creature with energy within 10 miles, it cannot escape their detection. So, it is very likely that we have been detected by the group of evil demon killer whales now. Sure enough, Chu Ye had just finished speaking when 2 adult evil demon killer whales were rushing towards them. They had obviously discovered Chu Ye and Bai Bai Dong and were planning to tear them to pieces and eat them. The evil killer whale king is arrogant and conceited. He is not afraid of humans. Teacher, if we kill these two evil killer whales, their king will appear. Chu Ye has already released the sword of gods and demons martial spirit. Ah, the screams finally alerted all the evil killer whales, including the evil killer whale king. Who are you looking for death? How dare you hunt my people in my sea area? My people, follow me. Yes, king. Sensing that his people were killed, the evil killer whale king was instantly furious, with murderous intent everywhere, and led hundreds of evil killer whales to kill crazily. What kind of rubbish is it? How dare you kill my people, come and die. Chapter 272 Chu Ye and Bai Bai Dong join forces to hunt down the evil killer whale king. Come out and die. From a distance, Chu Ye heard the terrifying roar of the evil demon tiger king. Soon, a huge evil demon killer whale, more than 30 meters in size, was leading hundreds of evil demon killer whales to charge forward. Humans! You are the ones who killed my people. Yes, it's us. Chu Ye had a calm face and pointed his sword at the evil demon killer whale. Not only your people, but also you, will die in our hands today. Just a human. You want to hunt me, the evil demon killer whale king. You killed my people in my sea area. Today, you will have to die here. Kill these two ignorant humans. Yes. King. Hush. More than a dozen adult evil demon killer whales came out at the same time, swimming fiercely. Each of them opened their mouths and barked their teeth. These dozen orcades are all above the 10,000-year level, and some of them are even as powerful as the Soul Douluo realm. In the eyes of the evil demon killer whale king, his subordinates who killed them were enough to kill Chu Ye and Bai Bai Dong. Unexpectedly, in less than 10 seconds, these killer whales were all killed by Chu Ye and Bai Bai Dong. Chu Ye shook his head helplessly. Evil demon killer whale king, you are the one who doesn't know whether to live or die. What? The strength of these two humans is so strong. The evil demon killer whale king was shocked, but he was not afraid, and became more fierce. Kill the whale domain. Roar. The evil demon killer whale king roared wildly, and a red violent aura filled the whole field. The killer whale domain, a domain filled with violent and crazy aura, can increase the combat effectiveness of itself and all tribes. At the same time, it can affect and interfere with the enemy's mind and soul. Kill them. Roar. The evil demon killer whale king took action himself, leading all the evil demon killer whales to rush forward collectively. Teacher, let me clean up these trash. You go to deal with the evil demon killer whale king. Chu Ye is not afraid of single or group battles now. No matter how many people there are on the other side, hundreds, thousands, or tens of thousands, he can clean them up in a short time. Numbers are useless in front of Chu Ye. Only those with strong enough power can pose a threat to him. 8th Solar Skill, God and Demon Extreme Eye Stance. A large-scale group attack solar skill, instantly releasing sword blades of 3 attributes: light, darkness, and ice, with such tensity that there is almost no place to hide. Swish, swish, swish. Puff puff puff. Roar. Ah. At this moment, all kinds of screams rang out. In just a few seconds, more than half of the hundreds of evil demon killer whales were killed by Chu Ye's 8th solar skill. The scene was instantly filled with blood. Dozens of evil demon killer whales died tragically, and the blood flowed, making the surrounding oceans infected with red blood. The wrath of the killer whale demon. Hush. Boom boom boom. The evil demon killer whale king also bombarded Bai Bai Dong head-on. How could a mere evil killer whale king face off against level 99 Bai Bai Dong? In an instant, the evil tiger's power collapsed, and Bai Bai Dong hit it and blasted it dozens of meters away. How is it possible? No tribesman, my tribesman. Seeing his tribe in such a miserable state, more than half of them were killed by Chu Ye in one move, and the other half were almost seriously injured. There were only less than 10 of them. Fortunately, they had the bodies of other killer whales as cover and were not injured. So many of his tribe died tragically in an instant. Damn it. Damn human. I want you to live a life worse than death. The evil killer whale king was completely furious and crazy. He was so violent that he was completely overwhelmed by the murderous thoughts and wanted to kill Bai Bai Dong and Chu Ye like crazy. Who are these two humans? They are so powerful. I must go back and inform the king as soon as possible. At this moment, there was an adult demon soul great white shark in the distance, secretly monitoring the situation in the killer whale sea area. The demon soul great white shark clan and the evil demon killer whale clan are old enemies. They would start a war every few hundred or thousand years, but under normal circumstances, they would not deliberately send their tribesmen to monitor the other race. But the fourth test for Tang San, the heir of the sea god, is to assist the demon soul Great White Shark clan to kill the evil demon killer whale king. Therefore, during this period of time, the demon soul Great White Shark has been secretly monitoring the movements of the evil demon killer whale king. Watching Chu Ye and Bai Bai Dong slaughtering the evil demon killer whale clan, the demon soul Great White Shark felt very happy. But it soon realized a problem. The evil demon killer whale king was the target of Tang San, the heir of the sea god. If he was killed by 2 humans, what are Tang San and the others killing? They must hurry back. The demon soul Great White Shark left quickly and swam frantically towards the direction of the sea god island to report the news. Their demon soul Great White Shark clan may not be the strongest race among the sea-souled beasts, but it is definitely the fastest sea-souled beast. 7th soul skill, Death Spider King's True Body. Bai Bai Dong activated the soul true body state on the spot, and the terrifying aura of death spread throughout the venue. Chu Ye smiled. Teacher, this is going to be serious. After Bai Bai Dong released the soul true body state, the evil demon killer whale king was completely at a disadvantage and was beaten by Bai Bai Dong. He had no power to fight back. It didn't take long for him to be seriously injured. As for the group of evil demon killer whales, they were all killed by Chu Ye. In the sea, among the 3 most powerful sea tribes, the evil demon killer whale tribe was almost wiped out except for the evil demon killer whale king. There were probably only 2 or 3 scattered evil demon killer whales who were very afraid of death and chose to escape. Chu Ye didn't kill all of these who escaped. Although the evil demon killer whale was not a good sea-soul beast, there was no need to let this kind of soul beast completely extinct in the sea. 6th soul skill, Vampire Spider Thorn. Hush. Bang bang bang. Roar. The evil demon killer whale king screamed again. Monster, these 2 humans are just as scary as the woman on Poseidon Island. The evil demon killer whale king was completely frightened, and looked at Bai Bai Dong with horror. In the past, the evil demon killer whale king had led a group of killer whales to attack Poseidon Island, but was almost killed by Bosexit. Since then, it has never dared to go there again. And now Chu Ye and Bai Bai Dong make it feel as scary as Bosexit. It is afraid and scared, and feels that it will die if it continues to fight. Escape. I must escape, otherwise I will die. After being repelled by Bai Bai Dong, it wanted to dive into the sea and escape immediately, but Chu Ye had already blocked its retreat. With the existence of the 2 great ice and snow souls, the Ice Emperor and the Snow Emperor, how could the evil demon killer whale king escape? Damn it. Since you don't give me a way to live, you can't even think about getting my soul ring and soul bone. The Ice Emperor's face changed. No. It's going to self-destruct. Chapter 273. The evil killer whale king was killed. Tang San was very anxious. Snow Emperor, stop it. Chu Ye ordered. Yes. Snow Emperor nodded, and a burst of extreme ice energy was released. The huge ice instantly sealed the power of the evil killer whale king. Ice Emperor also released ice element energy at the same time. The blessing of 2 extreme ices immediately sealed the evil killer whale king who was about to self-destruct. It can be said that it is a fantasy to want to self-destruct in front of Chu Ye. No. The evil killer whale king roared unwillingly. Teacher. Do it. Bai Bai Dong saw this and decisively released a powerful attack, instantly killing the evil killer whale king. Bang. Boom. Roar. The painful screams of the killer whales resounded throughout the sea. The next second, the evil killer whale king was killed on the spot. The sea tribes that acted recklessly on the sea, the evil killer whale clan, were almost destroyed, and only a few evil killer whales escaped from here. This trip, the mission of assisting Bai Bai Dong in obtaining 2 100,000-year spirit rings, has ended. After Bai Bai Dong finishes absorbing the spirit rings of the evil demon killer whale king, she will set off to return to Wudun City. Next, Chu Ye guarded around while Bai Bai Dong went to absorb the spirit rings of the evil demon killer whale king. Just as Bai Bai Dong began to absorb the spirit rings of the evil demon killer whale king, the demon soul Great White Shark that returned to the Sea God Island to report had already told the demon soul Great White Shark King Xiaobai about the situation, and Xiaobai immediately looked for Tang San. Soon, Tang San and others learned that 2 humans were hunting the evil demon killer whale king. This made Tang San very anxious. Daimu Bai, Oscar, Yu Tinhen, and Ma Hongjun were also very nervous. If the evil demon killer whale king was killed by someone else, how could they complete the 4th test? No. Quick. Go to the Killer Whale Sea area. The evil demon Killer Whale King must not fall into the hands of others, otherwise, our test will probably fail. Tang San said anxiously. Xiao Bai. Gather your tribesmen and follow us to the Killer Whale Sea area. Tribesmen, follow me. Xiao Bai called out. In the circular sea, a large number of demon-soul great white sharks swam to the shore. Tang San, Yu Tinhen, Daimu Bai, Ma Hongjin, Oscar, 5 people rode on the backs of the demon-soul great white sharks and headed towards the Killer Whale Sea area at a high speed. Shozan, who on earth could it be that would come to the sea and hunt a 100,000-year-old sea-soul beast? Daimu Bai asked. Tang San's face was gloomy. He thought if it was someone from the spirit hall, but he felt it was impossible. He shook his head. I don't know either. We will know when we get there. Who on earth could it be? Tang San was gloomy and uncertain in his heart, and was also thinking about this question. At this moment, Bai Bai Dong was sitting on the head of the dead evil demon Killer Whale King, still absorbing. Chu Ye was sitting cross-legged on the sea surface, with an ice block below as a support point. He just sat cross-legged with his legs closed, meditating and practicing while guarding in front of Bai Bai Dong. I don't know how long it has been. Chu Ye, who was sitting cross-legged, slowly opened his eyes. He felt that there seemed to be a large group of life forms in the sea ahead, swimming rapidly towards this position. Chu Ye frowned slightly. He had already seen the shadow ahead faintly. Ahead, there were a large number of demon-soul great white sharks, and Tang San and the other 5 had also seen a large number of tragically dead evil demon killer whales, as well as the evil demon Killer Whale King, and the figures of a man and a woman among the dead killer whales in the Killer Whale Sea. The evil demon Killer Whale King, including the evil demon Killer Whale Clan, were all killed by these 2 humans. Great. Evil Tiger, this is the retribution you deserve. Xiao Bai was extremely happy when he saw this. All the demon-soul great white shark clan were also very happy to see this scene. But only Tang San and the other 5 had no joy on their faces, and even looked very unhappy. Because they were not sure whether the death of the evil demon Killer Whale King would cause their assessment to fail. As they gradually approached, Tang San and the others felt more and more that the 2 humans in the killer whale group were very familiar. Purple demon eyes. Tang San's eyes flashed with purple light. With the help of the purple demon eyes, he saw the appearance of the 2 people in the killer whale group before others. Tang San's face changed drastically. It's them. Then, 3 seconds later, Daimu Bai, Ma Hongjin, Yu Tinhen, and Oscar finally saw the appearance of Bai Bai Dong and Chu Ye. It's the Pope of the Spirit Hall. Bai Bai Dong. And the Chu Ye. It's actually them. Xiao Bai, stop quickly. The first time Tang San, Daimu Bai and the other 5 were subconsciously panicked and scared when they saw Bai Bai Dong and Chu Ye, and hurriedly asked the demon soul great white shark clan to stop moving forward. What's wrong, Tang San? Do you know these 2 humans? Xiao Bai asked. Tang San clenched his fist tightly. Of course I know them, I will never forgive them. At this time, Chu Ye had already stood up, silently watching the group of demon soul great white sharks in front of him, as well as the humans on the backs of those sharks. The demon soul great white shark clan, and Tang San, Daimu Bai, Ma Hongjin, Oscar, Oh. Yu Tinhen is among them. Hectares, they really came to the Sea God Island. Chu Ye's eyes had a hint of murderous intent. In the past few years, there was no news about Tang San and others, and Chu Ye suspected that this group of people had gone to the Sea God Island. Chu Ye didn't take Tang San alone seriously, and in addition, he and Zwe were busy in the God exam in the past few years, so they didn't pay much attention to Tang San and his group. Seeing it today, it can be confirmed that Tang San and his group had already come to the Sea God Island, but I didn't expect that Yu Tinhen was also among them. And it seems that their strength has also increased a lot. But it's really not the right time to come, teacher. It's not possible to absorb all the energy of the evil demon Killer Whale King for a while. Chu Ye looked back and absorbed Bai Bai Dong in the spirit ring. In this state, Bai Bai Dong can't fight, and Chu Ye has to spare his energy and mind to protect Bai Bai Dong. Of course, if it was just the demon soul great white sharks in front of him and Tang San and his 5 companions, Chu Ye could still handle it easily. But what he was worried about was that behind these guys, there were the 7 sacred pillars guardians and the great worshipper of Sea God Island, Bo Sexy. How could Bo Sexy, the successor of Sea God, let Tang San die easily? There was a high probability that at this moment, Bo Sexy was somewhere, observing Tang San's every move. If the 7 sacred pillars guardians and Bo Sexy also appeared, then the situation would be a bit difficult. Xiao Bai said, the evil tiger is dead, and that woman is absorbing the evil tiger's spirit ring. Tang San also discovered the situation at this moment. In the few seconds just now, when they saw Bai Dong and Chu Ye, they subconsciously felt fear in their hearts. Even though, in the past few years, their strength has increased a lot on Sea God Island, they are also very clear about how terrifying Bai Dong's power is. But now, if you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novel, as there you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 274. The extremely inflated Tang San, the best chance to kill Chu Ye and Bai Dong. But now, Bai Dong is absorbing the spirit ring. The expression on Tang San's face suddenly became extremely excited, ferocious, and excited. A strong killing intent and excitement occupied Tang San's brain and expression. Great. Great. Bai Dong is absorbing the spirit ring and can't fight. Now it's easy for us to kill her. A mere Chu Ye can't stop this. There are also that demon soul Great White Shark clan. Chu Ye even has to be distracted to protect Bai Dong. In this case, if we take action, they will definitely die. Everyone. This is the best time for us to kill Chu Ye and Bai Dong. Once we kill Bai Dong and Chu Ye in the sea, the Wuhan Empire will find it difficult to make a big wave again. Then, when we return to the mainland after the assessment, we can unite the two empires and completely destroy the Wuhan Empire. That's right. Xiao San is right, everyone. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us. Daimyo Bai was also very surprised, including Ma Hongjin and Zhu Tinhen, who all had a strong killing intent and were very excited. They all had hatred with Chu Ye, so they all wanted to kill Chu Ye. But Oscar was the only one who didn't have much hostility towards Chu Ye from the beginning, and he didn't want to take advantage of the situation and kill Chu Ye. Because, although the Spirit Hall destroyed the 7 Treasures Glazed Sect, Oscar knew that it was also because of Chu Ye that the 700 Glazed Sect was not completely destroyed, giving 9 Rong, 9 Feng Zi, and Jian Luo a chance to survive. Let them disappear completely, retire, and not appear again for decades. Therefore, Oscar was different from them. He hesitated and struggled for a while, and said, Boss Dai, Xiao San, I'm sorry, I'm afraid I can't take action with you this time. Xiao Ye, you. Tang San and the others changed their faces, and their expressions were a little ugly. But looking at Oscar's look, Tang San knew that he couldn't force it, and said indifferently, forget it, since you don't want to do it, then forget it. These simple few words have caused a rift between Tang San and Oscar. Let's go. Tang San and his companions were full of killing intent, and drove forward for several hundred meters. They stopped when they were about 100 meters away from Chu Ye. Tang San's face was already very excited. He thought that he had to become the sea god at least to have a chance to kill Chu Ye. Unexpectedly, the opportunity came so quickly. In recent years, they have been practicing on the Sea God Island, and their soul power and strength have increased dramatically. In addition, they have become more proficient in the unique skills of the Tang sect and the techniques of hidden weapons, and have mastered more. Now, there are Yu Tinhen, Daimyo Bai, Ma Hongjin, and the demon soul Great White Shark King Xiaobai who has the combat power of the title Douluo, and there are hundreds of demon soul Great White Sharks to bless. A mere Chu Ye will definitely die. How could he be their opponent? No matter how talented Chu Ye is, Tang San also believes that he has just broken through the Soul Douluo realm at most, not long ago. It should not be possible to exceed level 85. Son of the Spirit Hall, Chu Ye. Tang San's eyes were bloodshot. He pointed at Chu Ye and roared, I didn't expect that after not seeing each other for so many years. You and I can actually meet in this sea, it's really God's help. God's help. Ha 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 ha. Today, you'll die here, die in my hands, you. You will be buried in this sea. Tang San is usually a very calm person, but when he saw Chu Ye and saw that he had a great chance to kill Bai Dong and Chu Ye, Tang San really couldn't control his emotions and couldn't help laughing excitedly. Chu Ye. Stupid. The 10th Chu Ye was speechless, shook his head and said, Tang San, I haven't seen you for a few years, you seem to be full of confidence in yourself again. Kill me. You don't think that you can surpass me in a few years? Chu Ye. Do you really think I'm still the Tang San of the past? These years, I have been practicing desperately in order to surpass you, kill you. and destroy your wooden empire. Although I may not be your opponent now, I also have the strength to compete with you. Right now, Bai Bai Dong is absorbing spirit rings, like a useless person, unable to fight. Can you compete with us alone? Hehe, Chu Ye, I think you are very clear about your current predicament, and you dare not fight us at all, right? The reason why you can still be so calm is that you're just delaying time. You want to delay until Bai Bai Dong finishes absorbing. Am I right, Chu Ye? Tang San was confident and thought he had seen through everything, but in fact, he was completely wrong. Chu Ye was speechless again. Alas, Tang San, Tang San, the more I look at you now, why do I feel more and more like a fool? Do you really think that I alone can't compete with you? Tang San smiled, and said excitedly, Chu Ye, you are too conceited. Do you understand my current strength? Ha! After speaking, Tang San directly released his martial spirit, and the 7 rings under his feet rose one after another, with a proud face. Yellow, yellow, purple, purple, blab, 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 7 rings. I'm a 77th soul saint. Tang San proudly burst out his soul power level, with a slight smile on his face. Unexpectedly, Chu Ye, I can make such a big progress in just a few years, reaching the soul saint realm, and a soul saint of level 77, are you surprised? Hehe, your talent is indeed above mine, but no matter how strong your talent is, what does it matter? Now, the soul power gap between us should not exceed 6 levels, right? Tang San's mouth corners slightly raised, and after speaking, he stared at Chu Ye's face with great concern. He really wanted to see an expression of surprise, astonishment, and shock on Chu Ye's face, an expression that showed respect, fear, and worry for him. But Chu Ye was still as indifferent as always, very calm. Oh. 77. It's really a bit surprising. Although Chu Ye said so, how could Tang San see that the other party was still calm and indifferent, with an expression and demeanor that didn't take him seriously at all? This made Tang San very angry and very unhappy, his face gloomy. Chu Ye, don't pretend anymore. I won't give you any chance to delay time and let Bai Bai Dong finish absorbing. Now, I'll send you to death immediately. Wait. Third brother, let's fight him first. Test this kid's strength. Ma Hongjin stood up with a proud face. Although he is only a level 65 Soul Emperor now, in the past few years of the Sea God Island assessment, they have not only improved their soul power, but also their combat ability, combat awareness, and the third test, the increase in physical strength after the Tide Attack body training. Ma Hongjin, who is only level 65, is actually enough to fight against a peak Soul Saint. Chapter 275. Cut off Ma Hongjin's head with one sword, slaughter. Tang San is terrified again. Ma Hongjin naturally knew that he couldn't beat Chu Ye, but he was just testing it out. Isn't Chu Ye's current strength enough? Okay, fatty, be careful, don't be careless, let him see how much we have grown after these years of hard training. Tang San nodded. Tang San knew that Ma Hongjin couldn't beat Chu Ye, but after all, Ma Hongjin had been tested for these years, so he wouldn't be killed instantly by Chu Ye. Plus, with his attention, there wouldn't be any problems. It was just right for Ma Hongjin to test Chu Ye's background. Here. Ma Hongjin sneered, and confidently released his martial spirit and the spirit ring under his feet. 6th spirit skill, Phoenix Piercing Cloud Strike. Chu Ye, take my attack. Ma Hongjin was not stupid either, and he used his strongest attack directly. A huge flame instantly ignited on his body, and along with Ma Hongjin's body, it was like a line of fire, attacking at high speed. Taste the power of my Phoenix Flame. Chu Ye stood expressionless, extremely calm and far away, ignoring the rapidly attacking Ma Hongjin, without a trace of pity in his eyes, and even without a trace of spirit power fluctuation on his body. But in the next second, Chu Ye's body suddenly rose with terrifying sword intent, and his figure disappeared from Tang San and others' sight in just a moment. He came to Ma Hongjin's side in an instant. Phoenix Flame. You country chicken, don't insult the Phoenix. At this moment, Chu Ye's cold eyes flashed with strong murderous intent. In his eyes, Ma Hongjin was already a dead man at this moment. At that moment, Ma Hongjin felt for the first time that death was so close to him, and before he even had time, a look of fear appeared on his face. Chu Ye's sword instantly cut off Ma Hongjin's head. Puff. You. Ma Hongjin's eyes widened, blood spurted out of his neck, and his head fell to the ground on the spot. The body and the head fell into the sea one after another, and died so quickly that Ma Hongjin didn't even have time to scream before he died. Looking at Ma Hongjin, whose head was cut off by his sword and buried in the sea. Chu Ye glanced at him lightly. You are looking for death? No. Fatty. Tang San, Daimao Bai, Oscar, Yu Tianhen, all looked at this in disbelief and roared. That moment was too fast. Before they could even react, Ma Hongjin's head was cut off and he died tragically. Looking at the dead Ma Hongjin, Tang San and the others were completely stunned. Their originally confident faces now looked at Chu Ye with only fear and terror. Chu Ye's strength made them feel unfathomable. A mere soul emperor dares to come and die. You really don't know anything about my power. Chu Ye shook his head, and the soul rings under his feet finally flickered up. Blab, 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 red, 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 3 black and 5 red 8 ring soul Douluo. How is it possible? How could his spirit ring become so terrifying? How could it be? How could he be so powerful? The gap between us and him is still as big as the sky. At this moment, Tang San, Daimao Bai, Oscar, and Yu Tianhen were all terrified. The self-confidence that they had accumulated in the past few years on the Sea God Island seemed to collapse in an instant at this moment. Because they could feel that the aura of a strong man exuded by Chu Ye at this moment made them unable to raise a single bit of courage and motivation to defeat him. They knew from the bottom of their hearts that in front of Chu Ye, they were still like jumping clowns, vulnerable. The demon soul great white sharks, as well as Tang San, Daimao Bai, and Yu Tianhen, subconsciously retreated a little. Such a retreat undoubtedly proved that they had fear in their hearts. Weren't you very crazy just now? Why are you scared now? Chu Ye's killing intent became stronger and stronger. He walked forward step by step, intending to kill. Tang San, I can feel that this human's power is far superior to mine. We are no match for him. Let's go. Xiao Bai looked solemn. He didn't want to let his tribe take risks with Tang San. Xiao Bai, this is the best time for my revenge. Try it with me. If we can't kill him, we'll leave immediately. Although Tang San was also very scared, he had to try this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Seeing Tang San's insistence, Xiao Bai gritted his teeth and prepared to fight. The despicable Tang San thought of a good idea, which was to let Xiao Bai and the demon soul great white sharks directly attack Bai Dong, who was absorbing the soul ring, so that Chu Ye would have to protect her. In this way, Chu Ye would have to resist some attacks and could not hide. Then, their chances of killing Chu Ye would be greatly increased. Do it. But Tang San still muttered to Chu Ye from a distance. They had no idea how strong Chu Ye was now. And Chu Ye didn't need to do that at all. He would protect Bai Dong himself, and the souls would do it. At this moment, Erming, Zhu Dai, Bin Dai, 3 great spirits appeared and guarded around Bai Dong. Looking for death. Chu Ye sneered. Whether it was the demon soul great white shark clan or Tang San and others, they were all enemies to him, and he would not show any mercy. 8th spirit skill, God and Demon Extreme Eye Stance. Ushu. Puff. Ah. The terrifying, dense, and powerful countless blades of light, darkness, and ice swung away. In just a few seconds, hundreds of demon soul great white sharks were instantly killed. Chu Ye held the sword of God and Demon in his hand and killed them directly. He killed one with one sword and locked his target on Tang San. Now that Tang San has taken on the 9 tests of the Sea God, he may become the Sea God in the future. Today, since he has encountered them, he must be eliminated in advance. Kill. There are still hundreds of demon soul great white sharks blocking Chu Ye, but none of them can stop Chu Ye's steps. Bang. Roar. All kinds of demon soul great white sharks were just screaming, their numbers were decreasing rapidly, and they were dying. Massacre. Almost a massacre. In front of Chu Ye's sword, there was no resistance at all. No. My people. Seeing his own people being slaughtered, so many in an instant, being slaughtered quickly, Xiao Bai's eyes were red, extremely sad and angry. Damn human, I want you to be buried with my people. Xiao Bai attacked frantically. Demon Shark Field. Demon Shark Fang. Unable to withstand a single blow, Chu Ye chopped its head on with a sword. Bang. Boom boom boom. Aga. The terrifying forces collided with each other. In less than 2 seconds, the demon soul great white shark king was chopped off a dozens of meters by Chu Ye's sword, and was seriously injured on the spot, spitting blood violently. The king of the demon soul great white shark clan, a 100,000-year-old sea soul beast, was seriously injured by Chu Ye's sword. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone, see you in the next video.